Nice way to sort of skip that mid game. That's what I was talking about. I would have liked to see them pushing Peshka into the box just to get this elimination a little bit sooner. That knock could have come through a little bit earlier. But of course, they won't really care about that. They had the player advantage. They were able to easily roll on through.
Yo, what's going on, chat? How we doing tonight, man? Welcome back to another daily stream, bro. We're on day 3 of not missing a day. Very epic, very litty. I actually woke up late today. Chill, okay? I woke up late. FNCS already started. We are on game 1 of 5 of the FNCS Major 2 Europe Group 2 qualifiers. I don't know who's in the qualifiers. I don't know what's going on with FNCS. I've been very, very busy the last few weeks, as you guys know. So I don't know a whole lot going on, but we're gonna be checking it out today. We're gonna see who qualifies. I believe this is the qualifying round to Grands, so people that do well today are gonna instantly qualify for Grands. So we're gonna see what's up. We got a lot of people in the lobby though. I just saw Veno got a quick kill. So it is pretty stacked. Everyone was saying yesterday that this is the most stacked of the EU qualifiers. And yo, Heaven AIG with a resub for 12 months, bro. Thank you so much, man. Hi, hello. What's up, dude? How you doing? Thank you so much for the 12 months, bro. 9 month sub, resub for 12 months. Thank you, dude. Appreciate that, man.
As I mentioned, all from the UK as well.
Oh yeah, and then what's going on for NA tonight? Does anyone know? Is Clicks playing NA tonight? Is it Peterbot? Who's in NA tonight? Because I think I'm going to do both NA and EU for the viewing party. But yeah, I apologize. I am a little late, so the yapping was all over by the time I woke up. And we're top like 60 or 70 in the match right now. This is the first game, so we missed like a little bit, but not that much, you know? We're not that late. But we're going to do a viewing party pretty much all day today, so it's going to be a fire stream, bro. We're going to cook. Why you stream on Twitch? I'm live on Twitch and YouTube right now, bro.
Though they're the last team.
How you doing? I'm doing pretty good. What about you, food? It's Peterbot.
But there's not very many other options.
I've seen Clicks and Peter. Are they both playing tonight?
At this point,
I don't know who's playing NA, guys. I need comms, you know.
Trying to hold them at bay. Svtini and Chav also know we've got more than enough surge damage. We just want to get a move on. We don't want to get caught in between.
Yeah, low key, if I had to guess, bro, Veno's team is winning today. If I had to guess. They've been cooking so much recently, man.
When it comes to one-on-ones,
it's been a really good season for them.
Zero concerns, and Vik, unfortunately, he tries to back up his teammate, instead finds
himself just Clicks tonight.
Eliminated with him. But
Peterbot ain't playing group 2, he played group 1. Okay, so Peterbot already played, so Clicks is tonight then? Or did Clicks already play?
All the way through the dead side.
You have to be careful here with this launch pad as well, of course, with these assault rifles.
Start playing comp again? Maybe one day, bro.
Accurate. Hit scan, so if anyone does
Muzz and Clicks for tonight,
sort of straight line, it could be an easy knock, particularly since I saw.
Okay.
See, there was a
yes, we'll definitely have to stream NA too.
They got to be extra.
A little 8-hour stream grind today. What do you guys think? W or nah?
And his trio, Pablo, Wingo, Chino, all rotating through pump. They're looking pretty good though. They had that big surge base that we saw earlier on. Did get chopped down, but
just woke up.
They were able to find enough sort of
not even caffeinated. I'm feeling great, and this tea is
doing okay so far. Just lacking in the whites as well. The main focus for them is just how can we make our way in, and this is a team we talked about that did need a little bit of damage, only 85 above. Let's see the shots here from Eclipse, just holding those players. That position from them was so good, allowing them to find those extra tags that are going to keep them going through this game. Not going to find the refreshes there, but it's not going to be enough because they're still going to be below. They're still going to hop inside of these boxes as Eclipse does go down. It's all up to Nathan and CZB. Time is ticking, the clock is ticking for them to get this Storm Surge damage done. Because it's starting to take away.
Why are they going for the res?
As well, Taco. This is such a huge fight for them because it's a make or break. Particularly now they have to try and get
them man, they're dead,
bro. They're going to do a little bit of return fire, but it's not going to be enough as Eclipse does full Storm Surge. There's still 100 below. CZB's trying to do anything
they're full dead here.
Hold on, but now the rest of the lobby have taken.
They still need 90 tags, and they're going to continuously get lobbied, bro.
Advantage of the fact that this team are getting tagged by Storm Surge.
Yeah, Nathan's going down.
It's looking only one way for this team, and I think they just got away with it there at the end.
Bro, the fact that the Sub-Zero stuff too
try and find some more damage
is in comp is so strange.
For them. CZB does get a knock.
Like, this meta is so weird. Is that just me?
It's just the situation.
You can play
that
Joyville
TCB
too.
left in.
I don't know about today or not with
One held
FNCS
box
going
to the
on.
next, trying to crank up a little bit of height. They at least
But I got it on my
have
list.
mats to their name, but not much of anything else. CZB, he's going to immediately try and collapse onto another weekend trio, hoping to just
Oh, no
find
way.
Aiden Hardfind. Michael
Wow,
seemed to
they
be
actually got the
in a
surge,
whole
bro.
situation themselves, but
Well played.
that
Dang.
Siphon, at least going to buy a little bit of
I
time.
thought they were
and
full dead.
Hardfind has absolutely no idea of what's actually
Infiltrator
behind
pump
him.
actually
CZB
hitting
just
harder
coming in
than
so
10? No
late
way.
to the party.
Bro, it sounds like you
Big
just woke up.
refresh.
Because I did.
And at least while they're a duo,
yeah, bro. I overslept, chat. My bad, bro.
Trekking forward, somehow, some way, the lobby just no longer paying attention to them.
How's the
They are
volume, by the
hanging
way?
on
Can you
by a
guys hear
thread
me
right now.
over
Their
FNCS?
HP
Is the
dwindling.
FNCS
The
loud
storm
enough? You know.
is closing in as well. If they can evade anyone's attention here,
Oh,
then
yeah,
make
mods,
their
if you
way
guys
in,
wanna
they
run
will have the
predicts
heals
all
to heal
stream,
up
by the
at
way,
least
feel free.
somewhat. Particularly looking at their shield.
Oh,
but there
Sicko,
are
what's up, bro?
players lurking behind as well. They're unwanted in terms of
Who's Veno duo?
Nathan and CZB
You mean his
right
trio?
now. This is a
Logo the resub. Tier 1 3 months, man. Thank you. Hi, love. Bro, keep up the good work. Have a good day. How's the new house? Oh, I love it, man. Thank you so much. What's up? How you doing today, by the way?
But as I say that,
Ooh, Nathan goes down here.
Nathan falls as well.
But yeah, the new crib's great. I'm vibing today. Just woke up, but I'm feeling good, feeling
Power
Fortnite-y,
trio,
you know.
though, that's starting to enter the conversation. Malibuca walks and
Excited for Poppy's
Ping.
Playtime Chapter
They'll be
5. You
more
bet
than
I am,
happy
bro.
to
I love
collect
that game.
Some of those leftover
Such a good
resources.
series.
At the same time,
Aren't
though,
they closing it
have
up
to
with
be
Chapter
wary
5?
Of the fact that there is another team sitting on the opposite end of these
This is
walls,
group
and
2,
these
yeah.
walls do not belong to them just yet. Malibuca, Ping, and Walks a little bit tied down here. They're
Yeah, this is a
strapped
scary
me, but
trio right here.
The problem is whether or not they can even break
This is
through
pretty stacked.
where a lot of this congestion is starting to pool. They're gonna manage to make it up and over the hill, box up temporarily, just continue to try and restore some of the shield that's needed here for Malibuca, but they're gonna have to find a refresh. They can't continue in their current state.
This lobby is looking difficult in terms of the rotation, but look who's not looking in a difficult situation. It's Camiseti and Chari. These guys are in the perfect position just to hold everyone else,
chilling.
all the stragglers at the backside.
Isn't
of zone
Setty's
still
trio
trying to make
actually,
their
like,
way
full
in. These guys
locking
can
in this
take
season?
advantage of it right the way up until that zone does close. This is a trio that always
Bro,
seems to
sound
be in
like
the right
henchmen?
position.
I do not
Another
sound like a
great knock
henchman.
there from Chari, and it's their hopefully gonna be their first
you want
elimination of
me?
the game. The ability for them just to find themselves in the perfect position every single
All
game
right.
is looking great. But look at this for a little high take there from Haijo, Kaito, and Turtle. It looks like they're trying to take both sides of the zone, no matter where it goes. They should have it covered. But look at this. Veno down.
You do?
Vico
I do.
Flixie left to clutch.
Nah, you're right.
This
I
is
definitely
not
do.
the circumstance that Vico Flixie
100%, 100%. I'm secretly a henchman, actually.
Vico knows that he has to confirm another elimination. They need second materials from someone, but it doesn't look as if anybody is willing to budge here. Flixie and Vico just all but exposed at this point, trying to continue buying themselves a little bit more time, a little bit more placement. What it seems so promising is now just the wave turning completely against them. Flixie tries to see if he can get the confirmation, Elin, but it's going to be the end of the road here in Game 1.
That's unlucky.
For our Major 1 Finals champions, and tough scenes. Can't say the same, though, for Keto, Haijo, and Turtle. They're looking to set themselves
they're
up
vibing on
nicely
high ground
here
here.
on the high ground, and nobody anywhere
I feel like
near.
this season's definitely a high ground
Set
meta.
themselves up.
I haven't
With
watched a lot of
materials
comp,
earlier
but
on. You can see the amount of materials
just off of the
they're expending
baseball
right now.
bats and
really trying to make the most of it, really
how good the
solidifying their spot
ARs
on high
are.
ground. What they need to make sure
if
they
you're on
do
hype, man, you're chilling.
is not burn out too quickly. Find those knocks, find those refreshes. That's Kurt Turtle and Kaito's job. But at the bottom,
This Frizzy goes down here.
Going down. It's all
Mustache goes down. Oh.
Mustache falls as well.
That's it for the
That
trio.
was one that we were expecting. Frankie called it out. She wanted a Game 1 win, but unfortunately for her and
Wait,
them,
maybe a Game 1 win for Seti, though?
Seti, Hari,
Hold on.
Cammy, though, they look like they're setting
Hold
themselves
on.
up nicely to try and go for a counteractive push onto the high ground. Malibuca walks Ping. They're just caught in the congestion inside the mid and low. Finally going to look to try and break their way through. That knock onto Chap. The siphon going to come into effect any moment here for Ping, but instead...
Now is not a good time for an
keep the
advertisement, guys.
job
We are in the end
cruising.
game, bro.
Can't afford to slow down for even a moment with the way that this lobby is just looking to collapse all around them. And they're not the only ones finding themselves in this scenario, Minnie. We saw this stage of the high ground, and Keto, Haijo, Turtle, they're doing a pretty solid job of holding on to it for the time being, but they don't have a whole lot of ammunition left. Haijo can only continue to suppress for so much longer. They're going to have to get up close and personal.
Look at where that zone pulls, though, all the way over the hill. So for the low ground teams like Seti, Kami, and Chari, it's just going to be difficult for them to traverse their way up.
They're getting dropped here. Hold on. I'm
trying
trying to set up a YouTube poll right now.
Kaizo, Hydro, and Turtle, who are doing an excellent job at doing that. But Kami now left as a solo.
There we go.
Solo clutch as much as he can. Mixon there just above him as well. So we got a bit of Polish action on that second height. Hydro, Kaito, and Turtle. Hydro does drop down.
Come on, Kami, clutch us
They're
up.
the team that are on height now. They're the team that are trying to control the lobby as the zone does pull back down.
No, he's
mountain,
dead.
but
He's dead.
Kaito falls.
Yeah.
It's full damage for him.
Oh,
That's going to be
man.
a disaster for the other
Going
team
up
on height.
and down
Can
mountain.
they try and solo clutch this now? Or
On game one is crazy.
As Ping walks, Malibuka
Little map
trying
refresh.
to take height. It's Ping on his own. Malibuka falls. It's all up to Ping. Or is it Hydro and Turtle?
It's Hydro and Turtle looking to shut down Ping.
Yeah,
Ping might
High
have
team
bought
has
himself
this
a
in the
little bit more
bag.
time, a couple more placements.
Okay, YouTube or
but
Twitch. I'm on both
Hydro
YouTube
is
and
actually
Twitch,
gonna
guys.
be the next one to
Both
fall
platforms.
damage himself. And Turtle, now what looked to be such a recipe for success here on the high ground, it's going to be a lone Turtle trying to drop all the way down to the bottom, hoping to remain as concealed as possible. Still has a decent amount of heals, but Trexer, Cheatin, Robin, this might have just been hand-delivered victories for them. They're just going to continue to spray down.
This is
they know
kind of impossible to sell here.
there's not a whole lot standing between them. It's only
Although they don't have much
Mixon.
mats.
It's only Turtle. They're
Oh my
trying to
gosh,
do what they can to prevent
that
themselves
drum
from
gun,
being
bro?
fully exposed, but
Midas
Mixon
drum gun
only
in
has
comp?
so much HP left to work with, and
thing is
Cheatin
so
is just
good.
so relentless alongside Robin. They're not even looking
Dang,
in Turtle's
especially with that
direction any
scope,
longer,
you can
but they
see
might
right
have
through
to
Storm with
backtrack
that.
Here. Mixon finally going to find himself being collected by Cheatin, Robin,
Yeah,
and
they win
Trexer,
this.
but this is all
They win. This is-
due
yeah,
from the
that's so
finish here. The
free, bro.
moment
Come on
that
now.
we saw
Let's go,
Hydro
man.
and
Okay, pretty
Ito
good game one.
collapsing
Wasn't able
from
to watch the
high
beginning of
ground,
it, but
and this story kind of
was pretty
wrote
stacked. I mean,
itself
up
here
and
for
down
our
mountain there.
Victory Royale winners in match one.
Pretty good game.
Robin, Cheatin, and Trexer, they saw that opportunity. They saw the.
If you guys are tuning into the YouTube stream, by the way, make sure to hit that like button, guys. Let's see if we get the same amount of likes as people watching. I really appreciate that.
But what's going on? High ground.
the streams, how you doing today? I'm doing awesome. How you plays?
Seems to be crumbling down, and everyone seems to be falling at the
Halo has been
worst moments
17
in
for
this
17
Group
years,
1,
bruh.
so
Ain't no way.
hopefully a lot of our
You're
teams
crazy.
will take note of that and hopefully
you're crazy,
not
bro.
do the same. It was looking so good for Hydro and Co, but really nicely played here from Cheat and Trexer.
all of you guys think I'm in my 30s,
kept on
bro.
applying that pressure. They had eliminations
17,
earlier on
man.
as well, so they were able to
17.
take advantage of that, and the zone pulling back up gave Turtle absolutely no chance.
I just have
Yeah,
to
so they got,
get
like,
a look
1K
back
points
on
for that.
where things actually
Auto
went
qual the
so
grands,
wrong here,
let's
but
go.
Everything ended up going so
Dude,
right
qualifying
as well
grands
for
after
Robin
one
and
match must
Cheatin.
feel so
Des,
good.
What do you got to say?
I mean, this is a trio that clearly saw an opportunity coming their way. We could see that the guys on the high ground Turtles trio, it just wasn't going to be sustainable for them in the end, given that they were so low on ammo in the end. Takata, are you pleased for our first trio of Group 2 going through to next weekend's Grand Finals?
Yeah, I mean, it's exciting. This is literally the most stacked group in EU, and already off the bat, a lot of
Yeah,
those kind
definitely
of
looks like
original
that.
trios we talked
I
about.
mean,
only
even
made it
after
so
one
far
match,
in the
man.
late game, but Cheatin, Trexer, and Robin did take home that victory royale. I believe they were landing Hopeful Heights, so that's a new uncontested drop spot on the map now. 11, it's gonna be good.
Yeah, I'm excited for them. You know, I look at all those players and they've all showed me signs at different times in previous seasons. And, you know, it sort of reminded me of sort of what you see in some eval games where you just sort of bide your time and your opportunity will come to go up there and ascend to high ground. But I think the cool thing here is like you said, Takata, right? Like, every time a win gets taken up by another team that isn't one of the titans of the lobby per se, a bit more pressure, just a bit more pressure every single game.
Yeah.
And I think this is a good team to do it, right? Because they're a team that, you know, I think definitely deserves a place in the Major 1 finals. And, you know, who knows what they can do? I think the sky's the limit for them.
Yeah, it was a huge game for Hydro
Yeah, I mean, they played that good.
too, but they just held
Midas
height for
drum
so
gun on
long
height,
that they used
chilling.
all the materials. They were running low
You
on
gonna play horror games
what
this week?
they
Yes,
needed to
guys. I
sustain
always
height,
do,
so
bro.
props to them as well. I'm sure
You guys act
they
like I'm gonna
secured a
stop
bunch
every
of
day.
placement, a bunch of points for that consistency, but they'll have to try again.
Did you see
for
that the
VR
people in the
ranking.
Pro-Am get
Well,
the
for
OG
many of
FNCS
our
pickaxe
trios,
early?
game one
I
was
did
just
see. Are they
a
bringing
warm-up,
that to the
so let's
item
take
shop?
a quick break
I really want to
and we'll
buy
be
it.
back in a few to discuss how it went for them.
Yeah, does anyone know? Because I know if you're going to the Pro-Am early, or not early, if you're going to the Pro-Am as a player or as someone watching it in person, if you have tickets, you get the FNCS pickaxe early. Now, I'm not going in person, but if any of you in chat want to, like, you know, send me your FNCS pickaxe, you know, give me that code. Hear me out. Hear me out. Hear me out. That would be pretty cool, because I really want to use that pickaxe as early as possible for some YouTube content. But yeah, no, they're giving it to people who attend in person, and then as well as like the content creators and pros that were invited. So yeah, are they gonna bring it to the item shop one day? Probably. But the fact that you get to get it early is sick, you know, and for free. Honestly, buy tickets just to get it. No, they give it to you in person. I would, bro. If you had to buy tickets and they emailed it to you, bro, I would buy one ticket so fast right now and not even go. I would just buy the ticket for the sake of getting the pickaxe. But no, they hand it to you in person. So I can't get it early. Kind of sucks. 24-hour stream since it's Saturday. If we can hit 3K viewers between Twitch and YouTube, I'll do a 24-hour stream. How about that? That's my deal. I could do a 24-hour. I have an extra ticket if you want to go. Oh, no, thank you, Daniel. I'm good, man. I literally can't go, guys. But yeah, it's kind of cool that they're giving away the pickaxe, though. I mean, I didn't think they were going to give away the pickaxe. Like, I thought that was just going to stay in the Fortnite vault for the longest time. But, I mean, they did sell the FNCS pickaxe to item shop, the previous current one. Or, what am I saying? The previous current one. The previous one that was actually good and not a purple ugly staff, you know? They sold that one item shop. No one thought they were ever going to sell that. So, kind of cool that they're selling the gold one, too. The gold one's the OG, you know? Are you 1 foot tall? On a bad day, yeah. Unfortunately. Do a 24-hour stream, but you don't go to sleep? No, I'm not doing that. I've never pulled an all-nighter before, bro. I'm not doing that to play Fortnite. Ain't no way. Have you seen the Thomas HD drum gun clip? I haven't. Are you on Unreal and Reload? No, I've not played any Reload yet. No Reload yet, guys. Nothing. I can show you, because y'all just keep yapping about it, bro. Oh, make sure you guys are playing some Infinite Box Fights, by the way, today. Get super cracked, you know? Look, unranked. I have not played any Reload yet.
Welcome back to FNCS. It is Group 2, and you just missed one game if you've joined us. But what a game. We saw some big names falling kind of at the start of the end game, 11-2K. And in the end, it was Robin, Texas, and Cheatin who took Victory Royale at the first spot.
Why are they the Kappa Kappa factory right now?
Finals. But I feel like we should talk about
the casters are always like rotating, bro.
Going into Major 2.
They're going dead side right now.
And that is Cammy, Seti, and Shari. 11, yes, I took my time, but I got there in the end because this is a trio that everyone is actually, in terms of
Bruce has Fortnite running 24/7, pretty much.
Well. And
that's how I get all those playtime hours, you know?
I actually thought they were going to take it.
Just saying,
I mean,
it's a good strategy.
You know, there was a point in this game where they definitely looked set up for success, but I'm not too worried about them. I think they played a really strong first game. You know, Chari.
Yeah, they'll do good.
Sort of
I'm sure they qual.
Right? You know,
I'm sure they qual.
Just bringing that firepower, getting them a couple of limbs, getting them a couple of refreshes, which they need. But, you know, this is the part of the game that I think gets really tough for them, right? You saw a really good cohesion there to take the stash down, but then when you start to
I think they were just too low ground.
Going uphill when it's a tough zone.
On a mountain.
That's when you often get
because they're a really good low ground trio, but the fact that they were on a mountain and the fact that it went up and down, it just cooked them, you know?
About this trio is
like if they got to mid ground earlier, I think they would have been just fine there.
Risks they take to consistently get to those end games, but in terms of the leaderboard, here in, I mean, second, first place, depending how you look at it. Turtle, Kaido, and Haijo
stream tomorrow? Yeah,
great,
I'm gonna be live pretty much every day, guys.
Cammy and Seti sitting in 7th place. It's comfortable for now. I think as the day goes on, they'll slowly push their way up.
Well, why don't we talk about Haijo, Turtle, and
yeah, so
Kaijo,
correct me if I'm wrong, guys. Did not mean to pause it. If you place top 5 other than the people that win a game to qual, you also qual. Is that right? I'm pretty sure it's like top 5 or top 3 or something.
Yeah, you see here Hydro dropping down just to try and you know, get the loot from the elim there because you need it. He missed out on some of the match you saw there, which probably ends up costing
so a good amount of them qual. If you don't get the win, you could still get consistency.
It's so tough to keep going because
Kappa employees get paid 1,500 V-Bucks per event,
right?
bro.
So they're so low on mats. They're trying to not build as much.
I might need to
down to
get a job at the Kappa factory then. Hold up. 1500,
especially after getting chopped down, limited mats. It's just not really the recipe for success.
That's pretty good.
Comes with holding height so early on in the match. You use so
Are you ever gonna get an Icon Series skin? Who knows, bro?
To you, and you have to keep
Who
going
knows?
further and further on height and using more
Why is your room so bright
in
now?
the end, if there's a full trio that's loaded up on mats from refreshes.
Chat, so there's this thing in the sky. It's called a star, and it happens to be the sun, right? And the sun reflects light, and I have something called a window, and the window is made out of sand, right? But it's see-through sand. So the sun reflects light through the window, and now my room's bright. Does that make sense? I don't know why you guys keep asking that, bro. I've had literally 100 kids, not even exaggerating. Halo, why is your room so bright now? Brother, it's the sun. I mean, like, I have windows, bro. W Logic, Cab, ain't no way. Is the sun good at Fortnite? Probably not.
Enough to make something happen in the long run.
Yeah, I think the boring answer from me would be it just depends.
Shut the blinds.
really.
I don't
Like,
have
think on the
blinds,
balance
brother. We
of
just
things,
moved
if
in.
you're comparing it to like
No
last
blinds,
season,
no
for example,
curtains,
we saw
nothing.
that
Just
last season
raw
especially.
window. That's it.
It probably makes less sense.
Sun
now,
scary,
right,
true.
than it did last season.
Very
for a
scary.
bunch of different reasons to do with just the actual meta itself. But I think we'll still see teams do it.
I think I'm satisfied with that answer. Veno, Vico, and Flixie, we don't see them in this first page. I don't know if we're able to see the second page of the standings. It was a little bit of a disappointing one for them. You know what? It's okay to have a slow game one, though, Levin, right?
Yeah, I wouldn't be panicking. I think, you know, when you're a team like this, you know, when they went down, I had a comment in the green room. I was like, oh, not great, you know, and Takata sort of said like, yeah, but I got a bunch of limbs, right? And it's like, that's what these guys will do. Right?
is live? Yeah, of
just
course.
keep
What?
on getting, you know, good amount of limbs in these games.
What are you guys yapping about right now, bro?
Up and up. And one of these games, you know, will probably end up being the win. But, you know, it's not too bad of a start.
They're currently in 12th, aren't they?
Ain't no way. Why did you not play
I'm not
EU?
worried. I'm with
Because I live in NA,
Levin
guys.
on this one. A lot of
I
the
also
top
do not
names
play
aren't
Fortnite
in
competitive,
that,
so.
you know, top 5 from the ones that you would have originally expected. But it's only
But if I
game
did
one.
play
We've
comp,
got
I'd be playing
4 more
NA,
matches
not
to be
EU.
Played out. You can qualify both from the VR and consistency. My question is, there's just too many big name trios to have them all qualify, you know? So who are going to be those ones as these matches goes on and those spots from the VRs keep getting claimed? You know, it's going to get interesting. So I'm
Who's
excited.
it going to be? Who's the upset?
Yeah, you gotta qual early.
Who's the upset?
Yeah,
Who's not going
And
through
these kinds of
Levin?
events, bro, you gotta qual
Somebody's
early.
not going to make it through. So Takata, I'm asking you.
I mean, we don't
Who's
know
gonna
yet. We
Oh.
don't know yet, Levin. There's, like you said,
Oh, you're just trying to
Veno's
put him
in
on the
top
spot.
10, Queasy's in the top 10, but, you know, it'll still
Dakar, I'm
happen.
chucking you off the desk. You need to commit to the bit. Game 3, I want your predictions. Let's
That's
head
crazy.
back to Mini Miner and to Taco, please.
I'm going to the...
Mini Miner and Taco here, back at it again. I'm excited here, though, for game number 2, Taco. I think game number 1...
No Twitch, guys. I am live on Twitch and YouTube, bro. What are you guys yapping about today, man?
Didn't perform as well as we
I'm
expected.
always live on Twitch and YouTube. Every day.
Game as well.
Every day. If I'm live on one, I'm always live on the other, bro.
For some of the
Yo, Easy Money with a 5, man. Thank you so much. Appreciate you, dude.
Could always be the mix-up. so let's get to
W5.
it.
Thank you, Easy Money.
Another important game here, game number 2, an opportunity for teams that didn't have the greatest
Can I have
start
glitch
to
attraction today?
make a bit of
Probably
a
not. We got
comeback,
FNCS
teams
all
at the
day
top
today.
to maybe extend their lead inside of that top 5, and if there is a team that's further on down, opportunity to make it to the Major 2 finals is never over until that final game is done. So many opportunities for our teams here, and I think what's going to be interesting now, who's going to land at sort of that hopeful heights area. And for now, though, we have a big battle of Spawn Shiny Shafts. We saw this one taking a little bit longer last time, but it looks as though it's AD and Hardfind and Michael that are getting off to the greatest start.
And that's going to be a very fast back-to-back eliminations already collected for Hardfine's trio.
That was
And-
really
and not
easy.
only
They didn't even get
that,
hit, bro.
Vinny, but it's a pretty volatile
Actually chilling.
50-50 for some of these off-spawn contested
Yo,
moments. Tex
Monica
also
with
on
the
receiving end
$50
of some
dono
of
on
those
the YouTube
circumstances.
stream.
Foxy
Monica,
Floodgate
thank
just
you so
continuing to
much.
kind of ramp
Holy
up
cow,
here
I
as
can't
now
heart your dono
Gosh,
for some reason,
remember,
but
they didn't get the
Monica,
better end of this
thank
exchange
you.
last match. So
Oh my
hoping now to have a little bit of
gosh.
a bounce back get some points established on that leaderboard. They're able to clean things up entirely.
W Monica in chat. Shout out to you. Thank you so much. I really appreciate that, Monica. Thank you.
The first knock onto Pump right there.
Kaden, are we for real right now? You're actually making me greedy in game, brother.
Now you just close on in.
I'm gonna have to scam you, dude. I'm watching FNCS.
They can get their game off to a good start.
Oh no, man. Y'all were claiming gritty in game when I was playing horror games yesterday. I mean, that's kind of on you, man, you know?
Making it a 3v1. You can see that's why NX is just
my gosh.
deciding to get out as far
half
as
a solo
possible.
victory cash cup, but pretty much.
Skyjumper spotted him out. This can only end
technically a bit more because it's euros.
In the way of the Frenchies.
Isn't 50 euros like
Demon's Dojo,
60 USD or something?
That Andalex picking up the outlaw
How much is a euro worth now? I don't know, bro. Those go all over the place. Euro
Big
to
thing too is that you
USD.
don't want to leave any survivors at
It's
force.
1.14.
It's gonna have to sit and wait. Gallo
No, it wouldn't be that
won't
high. It'd be like
able to make it out.
54 or something.
As Unzen, Ewick,
But thank you
they're
so
gonna
much,
be
Monica.
able to
I'm very grateful.
find
Thank you.
themselves with a good opening regiment here at Kappa Kappa Factory. Take a look back at where things went wrong. Unfortunately for Della, absolutely nowhere left to run. And that's just the way things kind of spill over sometimes for teams. You might see them have success in one lobby, but then not so much going into the next.
Yeah, and the worst part is if you die off spawn here, since there's only one lobby because it's set lobbies, you just sit there for 30 minutes, just doing nothing.
You see more teams.
That's the worst part, man. So if you die one time off spawn, you start getting washed. So you got to make sure you're like playing creative in between and making sure you're warm, you know?
Though. They were so close to victory.
Is this live? Yes, guys, this is live.
What?
Why do you guys keep asking that? Yes, I'm live.
Just take a tumble directly to
what are you yapping about?
Just chopping them out so successfully. It can be a tough break for sure when you are that close to winning and then you still find yourself.
Do you know that the sun is bright? Okay. I'm done with you guys today, bro. I just started streaming. I'm already done with you guys.
Turtle getting another little angle. Couldn't really find too much damage there onto Andalex, so not necessarily exactly going as they would have expected or anticipated, but they're able to find that first knock onto Andalex, taking advantage of the French lads being split. Now it's all up to Momsy and Skyjump, who we know have played a lot together. You remember these guys from last season, landing at Seaport City. I think it's quite fair for them now to decide to switch up the drop as Skyjump is just trying to find an opportunity here just to pounce, find a little bit of damage as his teammate Momsy is just getting mauled by Kaijo and Kaito. Unfortunately for Momsy, he does go down, and it's now all up to Skyjump. You would have maybe said in hindsight he should have taken a shot.
Easy money with the $10 dono, man. Thank you so much. Appreciate that easy money. Holy cow, bro. All right, it's euros. Thank you. A lot of EU viewers today. Appreciate you guys. You versus Tickle who wins? I don't know who Tickle is, so I don't know, man. Is he cracked?
Coming into Demon's Dojo.
I don't do 1v1, so anyone 1v1ing me would not be able to 1v1 me because I don't do 1v1s. You know? But I appreciate the 10. Thank you so much, bro.
Wait, they know Risk has that.
What's good, Halo? What's up, King?
Turtle.
Oh, I forgot to take my glasses down from earlier, bro.
Fully into the buildings here at Demon's Dojo.
Oh, man.
But Frixie, he's got other plans in mind. Unfortunately,
look at you play yesterday. I had to go. We did Schoolboy Runaway Challenge Mode, which will be turned into a YouTube video. We will do, or we did, Joyville, and we did.
Just yet.
What was the other one? There was a third one. Exit 8. That game was fire, bro. I really enjoyed that game. That was probably my favorite game that we played yesterday. But yeah, those three will all be turned into YouTube videos.
Unfortunately, there was another third-party situation.
Gonna do some good cooking.
Abdel, YZY, and Buzz were able to hop on in here. Hop on in they do, and it's Abdel that finds that first knock and eventual elimination onto Unzen. And but Ewik can manually breathe. Who's Domtat? They're gonna have to try and disengage.
Oh yeah, and then we also have Bad Parents that's gonna be going out soon.
Maybe find a reboot.
That might go out today, actually. Would you guys want us to post it today?
Going over to the hillside just outside.
I can check in Discord real quick, see if we're getting a thumbnail.
Chaptini and Scavia team that we did get to see a little bit in that last game, but they were taken out in that sort of mid-game fight, weren't they? So I think they'll be looking to maybe change up their approach this game. You can see them building a massive surge tower. Zone seems to be a little bit more favorable for them. So maybe we'll see them play a little bit less aggressive in this game. So I don't think they had necessarily the best finish in that last game in terms of their placement overall. 8th overall, so not too great, but also not too bad.
But if there's one thing that Chaptini and Svi excel at, it's definitely close combat. It seems like they've spotted out a team trying to venture into the vault here at Crime City. Svi.
Sorry, I'm back. I'm back.
Letting
But yeah, we got 4 videos in the vault for the gaming channel right now, so we're gonna have a good amount of posting going on. But we gotta get some more Halo content done now, because I'm kind of behind on more Halo. Would you guys want some daily uploads on more Halo for a little bit? I have a very, very busy week coming up, but I think after this week, I could do some daily uploads on more Halo for a little bit. This week, I could probably do like an upload here and there, and then probably by this coming weekend, not this weekend, we're on Saturday right now, so like 7 days from now, I might be able to daily upload for like 3 days in a row or something. And yo, gaming with the $2. Thank you, gaming. What's up, man? How you doing today?
Really nicely done from these guys, as you say. Just some
main channel upload. Yes, we're gonna main channel upload.
Taking on one player
I
as
got
a
you
duo,
guys.
finding different angles, and that's what the best teams at fighting are so good at. For Twy, Halo, and Vbucks, they're able to find a nice first knock onto Siren. Elimination as well. Voltiax, but no, Twy has to reload. It's Voltiax is just about managing to escape. He had to reload absolutely everything. Great shot onto Cool. Full piece. Can he find another shot? He has to reload again, does Twy. He can't just quite find that final shot to take them out. This has been a little bit messy of a fight for these guys, but it's still in their favor. They're still trying to find those final 2, and the longer this fight drags out for Taco, the more chance
chat, you guys want bad parenting posted today on the gaming channel? Yeah or no?
In this game.
Because we could post it today. We can either post it today or tomorrow. It's up to you guys.
Twy here just has to try and find that final shot. Doesn't quite connect.
The editing's already done. W Hayes, and then the thumbnail will be done.
A fantastic job at staying alive.
Probably within the next 2 hours,
3v1 situation.
give or take. It'll be done early afternoon.
That fight is completely flipped.
I'm seeing a lot of yeses. Okay, I'm down.
A little bit sooner as Voltiax also falls.
I'm down.
Even survived
How old are you? I'm 17.
He did in the first place. I was looking like a 1 versus 3 for the longest time, just because there weren't any shots actually being sent back. Vico, Flixie, Veno, just collecting.
I'm still 17, guys. You guys don't gotta ask me every single stream 8 times a stream.
Mustache, Swizzy,
Just as an FYI, you know.
This time around, gonna be able to play as a fully intact trio from
Is there anything going on with the event today, by the way, guys?
In their early game strategy just
Anyone know?
yet. And with the way that Mustache and Swizzy are currently based up, it is going to be very difficult for any teams in the surrounding area to actually rotate.
Fortnite announcements teaser. Catch the live stream tonight for all news on what's going into Fortnite. Oh, bro, I'm gonna have to stream all day today, man. Holy cow, we got a lot going on today.
Necessary. Also, just take a completely separate angle approach. You can look at the opposite end of C4. Now you get the north and south side covered.
It better be this big, bro.
As far as visuals are. And
here, let me look at Sheena's Twitter real quick.
Maybe spot out Blaha in the distance.
Yeah, 2 separate surge bases, and from one surge base to another, this is quite literally the home for Seti. He's not going to be too concerned.
I'm actually really excited for next season. As long as they don't make the meta stupid, it's going to be sick. I'm a huge Star Wars fan. You can probably tell by the gigantic gunship in the background. So I feel like having a full Star Wars season, it's about to be fire. You know? As long as the meta isn't stupid. The map changes are going to be sick. The battle pass will be sick. Everything's going to be cool by default. I'm just expecting it at this point. Because Fortnite's awesome. It depends on the meta. You know, if like if the guns suck, if they add
team that we would expect,
I don't know,
consistently make it through this
Han Solo's pistol and it does 5 damage a shot. I don't want that, you know what I mean? So it depends on the guns, but
this is probably the hardest heat in terms of names. This is one of the most stacked heats or groups, I should say.
Yeah, I think no matter what, though, it's gonna be pretty sick.
The names on
also, Easy Money with a $5. Thank you so much, bro. Can you do an Unreal speedrun reload? Yes, I already got it on the plan, guys. Don't worry. I know you guys keep yapping about that. I will get it done, man. I will do it live, okay?
Vexy picks off skin.
I'll do it live to a point. If the matches are really weird, I gotta do it off stream
for themselves as well.
Because I already know there's gonna be some weird stuff going on.
More aggressive earlier on, but for them, they
most likely I'll be able to do it all on stream.
Themselves just to give themselves a little bit of surge.
Depends on the trolls, though.
One thing that some of these teams are certainly discovering is that
live on YouTube,
successful
YouTube and Twitch right now.
Off-spawn fights, the introduction of third-party
Explain to me in Fortnite terms what the sun is.
You considering how you actually want to play.
It's the thing that lights up the island.
You can never really consider that things are going to be
in the sky
and sealed off. You always
it's called the sun in Fortnite. It's called the sun IRL. It's the same thing.
Lurking, trying to crouch, roll up.
It's literally the same thing.
When you least suspect it, and when you look at a team like,
can you please keep the whiteboard in the new room? You guys like it?
Kind of touched on it in the last lobby.
Yeah, I don't know what to draw on it,
definitely
man.
one of our trios.
I just gotta subscribe upside down.
Moments
but
of strong promise.
I feel like I need to put something
just
cool there.
waiting for that standout feature.
The only reason I have the whiteboard in here is to block out the window.
Most certainly, they have the experience now as well in terms of playing in these sort of level of lobbies, and this is a trio that I'm very excited for.
This whole room is literally just windows, bro. It's ridiculous. I love it, but it's ridiculous. Feels like I'm in a penthouse, bro. This is window. I'm like, I'm getting flashbangs all day.
Who do you think gets priority on the internet?
Oh, I think they'll be fighting over it, I'm sure, but they better have good internet.
It's almost a bit too much at the same time,
Both players playing at this level, but I know they're both.
You guys move too much, brother. I've moved 3 times in the last like 8 years. What do you mean?
I'm sure there's debate.
That's not that bad. Come on.
Who's the best?
Are you 0 ping yet? Nope. I moved and my ping's worse now. So.
A moment to see what's actually taking place here with ping.
It somehow got worse. My NAC ping is worse now.
This trio, I do believe, currently in Germany for a boot camp.
Everything else is the same.
So knowing that they're going to have a little bit of that 0 ping advantage over some other members in the lobby, but it's also just the camaraderie, I think, that can be introduced when you have teams all syncing up together to play out these kinds of events.
Yo, Pigeon with the $2. Thanks so much, Pigeon. Can you please say hi to Thomas and Jacob? What's up, guys? How you doing, bro? Thank you so much, Pigeon with the 2, man. Appreciate you, bro. Love you, Pigeon. Go back to the old G setup, please.
Navigate this sort of
I can't.
Have so many different players. I know
we sold the house.
They've been landing at Lone Wolf the whole season.
There's going to be someone else living there.
I think they've been trying to claim some of the metal around.
I can't just go back to
almost increase the area in which they try and operate in that sort
Why don't you just move
location.
to Dallas? Because I'm 17.
So they're still figuring things out.
And I don't want to move out.
As the analyst mentioned, they haven't necessarily had the best time as of late.
Psycho.
There's still potential
I'm not
for
interested.
them to make that all good, and they won't mind if they make.
What's good, Halo? What's up, pros?
Everything else is forgotten, I'm sure. So that's all that matters. And again, another sort of storm play here from Craig Fury and Peshko, who don't actually have eliminations.
One pump that wall. Oh my gosh.
One of them was down there. So
what did that wall do, bro?
It must have been storm that knocked one of them out rather than a fight potentially.
You sold the house? Well, I didn't. My parents did.
It's always difficult, and they're sort of third-partying here into the area of Malibuca.
But yeah, the house is gone.
They're inside of a little bit of a battle right now as well. I'm not too sure how they're going to approach it because we know how good this team can be, but I think they're aware of that third party just rolling on through. And the experience of all 3 of these players.
Is this actually FNCS?
Expectations on them as well.
Nah, it's Minecraft Pocket Edition. Yes, it's FNCS. Brother, come on.
I like the way they're
FNCS EU Group 2. It's very stacked. This is the most stacked region.
Play with a little bit of restraint, though.
Let me rephrase that.
You've got
this is the most stacked EU lobby.
Certainly not one that's just going to roll over.
That's going to be happening. Because there's 3 different lobbies.
Easily, but both of these trios at Lone Wolf Lair are probably aware of the fact that there was a team lurking nearby. Unfortunately for
dude, you look away for 2 seconds and you're just fried in this meta right now. It's actually crazy. The ARs are so good.
They're not going to let him just stroll out of here scot-free. Instead,
you do horror games on YouTube?
Again, just burning through so many resources.
Well, I'm not going to do it ever on my HaloBT or more HaloBT or HaloBT Reacts channels because those are for Fortnite content. And there's a good amount of blood, sometimes some swears, that kind of thing. So it doesn't make sense to have on a family-friendly Fortnite YouTube channel. You know what I mean? I'd end up clickbaiting people, and then I don't want like little kids seeing that stuff if they don't want to see that stuff. You know what I mean?
Those heels. Put them all inside of that one room.
So that's one thing. I could, however, do the horror streams on YouTube, but on my gaming channel, which is meant for horror gaming videos, variety gaming. I could go live on HaloBT Games. Yes, I could. It's just bad for the analytics because the channel is small, and it would essentially kill the videos on that channel. It's just complicated YouTube algorithm stuff. So once the channel is bigger, yes, I could stream on there. Like when we're at like 500,000 subs, 100% I could stream on there. But as of right now, no, it would hurt the channel a lot.
By far the best team going into the major one.
It's about the third. Which skin? Let's go, man.
Different in terms of the landscape of the region. And I think a lot of that is to do with them sort of switching drops and maybe not having that same solidity that we've seen from them previously.
Man.
But that doesn't take anything away from what they're able to do when it comes to these lobbies.
One day.
They still are one of, if not the best team in the region. So expect them to qualify through.
Definitely
Mountain
stands out a
rotates.
bit, though, where if you were to ask the general public, hey, who do you think is winning this major?
Move to Dallas when you get older?
It was
I'd only move to Dallas if I end up doing comp.
Vbucks,
I have no other reason to move there.
Now, there are definitely a good amount of people questioning whether or not they can continue to maintain their title as holding on to that Blade of Champions. And all these other teams, especially some of the teams competing here today, looking to try and steal that away from them. Chap, Teeny, and Svi, though, they've kind of been making their way through this lobby.
Bro, I'm the thing in your walls at night making that noise.
Initial fight taking place at Crime City in familiar turf.
Y'all are yapping today, bro. Oh my gosh.
Some of these later dead side.
You guys are just typing anything right now.
They know that their teams definitely
holy cow,
to
man.
try and hold them down.
You're scaring me.
Definitely. I think this is another trio that are boot camping in Germany as well. So, Chino, Pablo Wingu, and Fred.
Do a video where you rank YouTubers and pros Fortnite map on a tier list. I thought about that actually. I could do that in the future. Yeah. I saw someone else do it. I got it on my recommend, and I was like, oh, that's actually a good idea. Wait, maybe I just yoinked that real quick, but yeah, I don't know.
Lower ping.
I don't know.
He's looking low on the storm surge damage.
If I'm like dead out of YouTube video ideas, and I gotta post something that's quick, then low-key not a bad idea.
Situation for them at all because there's nobody nearby. They have to really try and get involved.
Stop yapping, bro. You're yapping.
Range engagement here. And this is why we see them rotating back into the storm, trying to find some tags, which they do onto Adrix right there. They're gonna have to close on in because they need this damage desperately. This is now or never for this team. Who've been trying their very best all game just to try and find damage. They haven't been able to do it. Now their first elimination.
Rare footage of the infiltrator pump doing more than 25 damage.
Would look to be like
it
might provide them a moment of relief. That's completely turned against them, though. They've drawn the attention of some of these other teams that are looking to fly more inwards towards this next zone. Sakay and Vik also keeping tabs. Teams using that launch pad, just paying the price currently. And this is
double ARs is kind of crazy.
Play a really big part, especially when you're.
Is that a good meta this season, or is he just carrying that for no reason?
Trios here, Risk hoping for another shot, but he's gonna lose his teammate in the process. Instead, Stick's not gonna be able to be left standing here for much longer. Zara on the other side of this wall, but at this point,
he panics. He should have went for the pump shot there.
Other teams at bay.
Dang.
Zara might have been successful at the start of that, but not sure it's actually gonna play to his advantage.
These fights that can really turn the tides in your game right now, as we see Nathan CZV Eclipse there finding some success in their earlier fights, and this is really what can set you up for the end game. You know, sort of 6th zone, hitting that storm surge done nice.
We're just taking all the shots though.
So much heals in order to propel them through this game, but no ping. It's down. Malabuka also down. It's all up to Wox, who decides to dip. And for him, he's going to have to try and find this revive onto ping, as Malabuka unfortunately has to watch on from the sidelines.
We're in 5-tick zone territory, though. Mini, this is not helping any of these teams that are currently involved. Wox will at least find
just in time, bro.
To extend it just a moment
I don't know if he's gonna make it or not.
But he'll have to use the bulk of this jump just to get even close.
Yeah,
and that's not
he got
even
storm
factoring
sickness.
in teams that would have been cutting him off in the first place.
I was taken down fast.
Start for some of these.
Who do you think's gonna win the game?
Here in EU, but
gosh, man, I don't know. Oh, these guys are looking stacked.
The upcoming for some of our other teams.
Dang, they're rich, bro.
They seem like they've got things figured out for the most part here.
Maybe not though.
So they're looking to just try and establish solid position here, just outside of the primary focus.
Halo, are you bald? No.
They're not letting it go.
I am not bald.
Triple sprays coming through from that team, as we get to see some of the wounded teams that have been trying to get involved in those fights inside of the storm. We saw what happened to Malabuka, Ping, and Wox, and somewhat to Nathan and Eclipse and CZB. Of course, CZB down, out, watching on. For these guys, unfortunately, it wasn't enough even to get them above the threshold, so they're still looking for damage. They're over-peaking, really, but they have to. They have no other choice here, Attacker. They need to try and find as much damage as possible, because when you're a duo, what's most important for them now is just trying to stick together and play out the end game, but they need to also think about Surge as well, so it's not ideal. But look at this, we saw them earlier on. Really firm Surge base. that wasn't going to get broken down in full built metal right next door to their drop spot. But the next thing they have to focus on, that max pull 8 zone, it's not going to be easy for them. It's Swizzy, Mustache, and Queasy. How are they going to rotate this?
But if you give Queasy practically
I was about to say, they're just going to build all the way across zone here.
Onwards, it's hard to imagine them not being able to translate that into a victory later on down the line.
Halo, you're 1-1, not 5-4. Who said I was 5-4?
They've still got to play
Ain't no way, bro.
The same as everyone else.
Y'all think I'm 5-4?
They've managed to find themselves in a location where they could cut off some of these teams that are making the approach, but they just want to play it safe. They just want to play it calculated.
Take height, don't die, remember? Yeah, I mean, that is the play.
Risk just yet. And Chap fully taking advantage of some of those players strolling in a little bit later towards these fringe points of the edge of zone. Peshka way back on the backside of the zone.
This is Grands? No, this is the qualifiers for Grands.
Trying to see if they can
it's essentially just as stacked as a Grands lobby, to be entirely fair. This one in particular, this is Group 2, so there's 3 groups. This is Group 2. Group 2 is the most stacked out of all 3. So this is like a mini grand finals, but the people that do well in this tournament qualify to get to play in the grand finals for their region, you know?
Much different situation than what we saw them in the last game, but they do.
It's a pretty big deal. Like if you don't do well in this, you're cooked.
Which is the main thing. They're still in the game, which can all go wrong sometimes, but for Zara, Zangi, and Rigball, these guys are looking solid up on height. We saw what happened in previous games where teams that were on height at this point did let it crumble. Are this team going to be different? Are they going to be able to pick up those refreshes, the materials, the minerals?
Was finally back after 10 days. Yeah, I mean, I've been streaming the last couple of days. I mean, I've been back for a second now, but what's good, bro?
You can see them just extending out in the metal, just trying to let that build out before they do so. But all the teams, you can even just see Chap here just looking up. They're keeping tabs on what height are doing. Because one moment.
Why did you move and why haven't you been streaming? I haven't been streaming because I was moving, and I moved because my family wanted to move, and I was like, yeah, let's do it.
Applying pressure. Teeny and Co, they're really struggling to get through this.
What would be your trio if you played comp? I have no idea.
Not in the slightest. 14 different things to think about at once. Damage being the primary thought right now. But for Zara, Zangi, and Rigball, they're all the way up on height. They're dominating right now.
Just tackling one issue after the next, and while we saw High Ground committing a lot of material early on, and pullback is definitely going to be something that Swizzy, Mustache, and Queasy are keeping in mind. They're going to opt to tank.
This is a really good rotate.
They've got Memphis grenades though, and just finding an optimal
This is a really good play.
That is until they have a chance to actually look back.
As long as these guys don't spray him. Yeah, that was such a good play, bro.
They will be able to defend themselves though, and
fantastic strategy.
Really lost just yet, but back up the top. Rigbor, Zara, Zangi, they're gonna find themselves chopped, and Rigbor, a full trio wipe here. Vico, Veto, Flixie immediately wasting 0 time. They're gonna ramp right up, happy to collect their prize off of that chop.
Perfect height retake here from Vico, Veno, and Flixie. They just mirrored height down below. They couldn't see them, the team up on high ground. They didn't even know they were getting chopped out, which is why they went down to full damage right there. Now the lobby is in the hands
like
of Vico,
Veno win here.
Veno, and Flixie. And if there's any team
them on height and they're stacked, I mean, come on.
It will be them. You can just see them.
They're chilling, bro.
To try and find even more refreshes. It's Veno all the way up on top. Vico, Flixie that are looking to try and find so many of this piece control, so much control of the rest of the lobby, and they can continue that plow through the rest because they're getting all of these materials, which Veno can use to his advantage. This is one of the best duos right now at fragging out, playing together, and they're showing what they can do here on the top of the screen.
But look at what Swizzy, Queasy, and Mustache are doing. They're trying to control that ultimate front side low. They're actually managing to stay decently ahead of the pack, but still, Vico, Veno, Flixie, they're not trying to let up anytime soon here. Vico just hoping to confirm as many eliminations possible. Swizzy, though, he has fallen. Chaptini and Speed,
man.
Know what they're capable of, and they've taken them
that was
out.
an awareness
Queasy
thing.
Trio no longer going to be left as part of this conversation.
Gosh, man, I think this is a Veno win, bro.
Control of the low ground, but
they're dominating.
Veno, Flixie,
they had to lock in for the one time.
Yeah, they're still playing these sort of lower ground layers. Veno's still playing all the way up on top. We saw it was Cammy, Seti, and Chari were trying to go up height in just a moment ago, and now Fred Oxy
and he gets the chug off. Yeah, they win. 100%.
Of eliminations for this team.
100%.
They've still got so many materials as well. Veno's just been able to sit up on height, watch this all go down as he gets towards the front side of zone. This is where they need to try and look down at everyone else and just close them all out. Let the zone do the work, as this team now are just looking so on top. But no,
wait, Flixie went down though.
It's up to Veno and Vico.
But the way way that the zone is pulled back, it didn't.
No, this should be good. This should be good. Everyone else is grief enough. They can duo clutch. I'm still confident Veno and Vico in this.
With 4 as well. This team just has so much fragging potential, and Mixon might be on the receiving end.
Hold on.
Instead,
Hold on.
Target here as
Yo, Vico's crazy.
One after the
Oh
other.
man, he got
But
Max
Veno,
though.
he's the only one
They
who's standing here in
sold.
Chaptini's fee. They're
Oh
gonna be
my
lost to win it
gosh.
all the way from that front side.
No
low
way,
ground.
bro.
And this
They were
is
doing
exactly
so
what they were
good.
playing for, Minnie.
They were doing so
Perfectly
good.
played there from the low ground team.
Oh,
We thought that it was going
gosh.
to be Vico, Veno, and Flixie's time.
They had
We were
that in the
highlighting
bag, and then they just started
so
dropping slowly
well,
there.
and so well that they were fighting, and
That's
the
crazy,
ability
bro.
to drop
GG.
down Vico.
Well played
and
to the other
Flixie
team,
doing
though.
such a great job at it, but it was Flixie that fell.
Yo, Rage
there.
with the 50
The power
bits.
was
Thank you so much,
reduced, but
Rage.
the
Appreciate
power
you,
was
man.
not
Thank you.
lacking there on the low ground side of things. Teeny, Skavi, and Chap, a team that have been aggressive. They've been proactive in this game. We saw that fight all the way at the beginning of the game. They carried that momentum through. They picked up eliminations
match,
on
bro.
low ground. They kept themselves going.
What a
and when
match.
the opportunity was right, when it was just down to Veno, they pounced, and there was no way they were going to let that one up. Really well played.
Yo,
from our
Rage with
low ground
100
team.
bits.
I
Thank
don't
you,
think those
Rage.
two finals.
Appreciate it, dude.
That should come as no surprise, really. Chap, Teeny, and Spee, a lot of people had them on their radar, but what does the Dust have to say about it?
I have to say that this is a trio that aggressed their way through the entire game, and I think that there's going to be a few people in the lobby breathing a sigh of relief. Yes, you kind of want Veno and his crew to be out of there, but these guys, the way that they were tearing things up, it's going to be a relief to everyone concerned, Levin.
No,
I mean,
you get more
absolutely. I'll be
pressure
honest with you, Frankie, I
the
was
more
kinda
time
just
goes
prepared
on
to
in the
just talk
tournament because
about
you're starting to run out of
Veno
matches.
How amazing that
But
game
also
was,
because of
man.
the format,
But they
the
kinda
matches
did a
get
lot of the
easier
heavy
at the same
lifting
time
for Chap
in the
TV
sense
and
of
Scooby, right?
the
Because
top
they were playing
players
so
already
aggressively,
qualified, you
they
know?
wiped out so many people.
So there's
And
less
Chap
and less
TV and
people
Scooby,
that
who were playing
will
aggressively
take
themselves, to be fair.
or
It wasn't
would
like they were
have
just
taken
passengers sitting by.
your-
But by the end there, it was just like they
so
were just
tired.
sat there and they didn't really have to
They
do
would have
much. A
taken
lot of hard work
your
got done.
qualification, but they
Great
didn't because
gameplay
they already
from these
qualified.
guys, though, to just
You know?
bide their time in that end game, stay front side,
Oh, that
stay
makes
in good
sense.
positions to
I'm
capitalize.
yapping.
Yeah, 100%. I mean, to be fair, they did
yapping.
what they had to close out that match. What was important was in those last moments, they were still all up. They were
fixing
close
my
to each
hairline
other.
real
They
quick.
could play together. Meanwhile, as Minnie called out, Flixie did get knocked down a little before Vico and Veno, leaving them as a duo. And honestly, they were
looks
probably
alright.
just feeling themselves fragging out completely.
gonna do it
as
like that.
They were getting so many elims,
I need to buy a new
but,
hat
in
soon,
the
man.
end, they got a little ahead
Chat,
of themselves.
opinions on
and
me buying a new hat?
Teeny and Skavi capitalized on that.
I feel like I need something else, you know?
I mean, look at those boys, though. They are making
Prediction
it through
each round?
to the
Yeah, go
major
for it.
finals. I'm talking about Chap, TD, and Skivvy here, and I'm so excited to see what they cook up in the lobby because these are three names that actually I feel like the finals would feel bereft without. So I'm so glad that they've made it through, but I'm also very glad that Vico, Veno, and Flixie are still in the lobby, and we'll get to talk more about them and the other trios after the break.
All right, W match. I guess, you know, I'll use this time to advertise Infinite Box Fights. Oh, by the way, you guys can actually follow me on Fortnite, man. I don't advertise this enough, but my creator tag is more HaloBT. We're at 23,000 followers right now, which is sick. So you can go to the magnifying glass up here, type in more HaloBT, just like that. It's my other YouTube account, my other YouTube channel, you guys know. And bang, you can play all my maps from here. You just hit this little favorite button to follow me, okay? But yeah, in the box fights, bro. It's goated. Dude, my leg fell asleep. Hold on. I gotta walk around my room, bro. My leg fell asleep and it's not waking up and it's really uncomfortable. Oh my gosh. Bro, wake up! Come on. Alright, my leg's waking up, but my foot's still asleep. Hang on, I'm like kind of hitting the gritty right now. Dude, honestly, I think I'd rather take a leg cramp than my leg falling asleep, though. I'm gonna be honest, a leg cramp is less uncomfortable. I really don't like when my limbs fall asleep. It's not it, bro. Who's first on the leaderboard? It doesn't matter. It's about who quals, you know? Did you beat the scary game yesterday? Yeah, I beat all of them. except for Schoolboy ran away. Dude, my foot is still sleeping. It literally won't wake up, bro. It's just tingling. Chat, what's the best way to get your foot to wake up when it's doing that fuzzy feeling thing, you know? I don't know how to describe it. It's like wiggling my toes, you know? Give it a med kit. Yeah. Stomp. Nah, it's not really doing much. Hit it. Don't put pressure. Okay. Put it in the fridge for 10 seconds. Okay, I don't think that works. I'm gonna be honest. Should I buy Surfwish or Vision? Surfwish. Shake your head? Are you sure that does anything? Alright. It's gone enough. I'm good.
Welcome
let's
back
get
to FNCS Season
Next
2,
match.
Group 2. And guys, I'm not going to lie, things are about to get nasty.
Wait, actually, let
because
me
we
check
have got to take
when
a look
NA is
back
starting, by the way.
At Venno, Flixie, and Vico and how they
4
stole
to 7.
height at the end of Game 2. It was a dirty play and it was delicious.
Wait, so
Like,
EU's
Yeah,
going
you know what,
until
Frankie?
2?
People who, like,
And then it's 4 to 7 for
steal
NA?
things,
Am I
you know,
understanding
a
that
bit,
right?
You know, sneaky about it.
It's something like that.
These guys had a bit of bravado.
'Cause we're going into
about
game
it,
3
you know
right
what I
now, so
mean?
we're
And, look at
technically
that. Seeing all
halfway.
the health bars going down at the same time is so
We got like
comical.
another
We've seen
hour
them do
30.
this so many times in many
Roughly.
seasons. And I think the
Yeah, I
most
think what I'll
interesting
do-
thing about when they got on high,
I wanna watch NA tonight. I think what I'll do-
just how quickly Vico and Flixie got off of it. Look, like they take height and instantly
We'll continue
both of them
watching
jump down
EU,
the second height
watch
and
the
they're just
entirety
like,
of it.
It is time.
I do a
to
lunch
eliminate
break.
I mean, I don't
Leave
think
the stream
Vico
on.
Flixie even went on high.
And then we
Venno
stream NA
got on
tonight.
up. They saw
I
they
think
got
that's
3
the play.
eliminations. Vico Flixie said, all right, I was going to go down second
That way
height,
I stream
started
both, but I don't get, like,
basically
too tired
box
from it, you know?
Every player on second height getting elim after elim and just continuing that aggression. But you can see it paid off in terms of eliminations. Ultimately, they weren't able
Yeah,
to
this
get
piece
that
control from
VR,
Vico is
but
actually
with
kinda
the
crazy.
amount of elims that they picked up, Levin, I'm sure they're happy
Does
with how
Vico
it played
play
out.
like full zero ping?
I
Because
said
his
before
game
the
looks
break, I
so
was
smooth,
expecting
man.
for us to be talking about them.
How many
winning
games
the
are there?
game.
5, I believe.
And so what I was gonna say was like, hey,
pretty
look,
sure.
they won the game, but a part
You
of
can
me is
see
like,
it in
you
the,
guys really
top
need
corner
to do
over
all
here.
that. Like, they were playing mad aggressive. And I
what's
guess
up,
now I
Hayes?
can use
How you
that
doing, bro?
and say
We're
that
watching
kinda
FNCS
cost
today.
them towards the end, right? Like Flixie going down there. They got a bit unlucky with the zone pull. I think they like predicted that the zone would keep pulling across the hill, which it had it. They definitely do just win that game. But
Not a
these
1
things
hour
happen,
lunch
like you
break
said,
this
look at
time.
the leaderboard. They'll be
Nah.
more than fine with where they are.
I'll take a longer
Can
break
I also
than
counter
that.
Levin, with the
I gotta hate you guys with that. I'm
suggestion
sorry,
they're
bro.
just going for as many limbs as possible because once
Long
they've got the victory
break.
royale, then they are through.
I also
So
need to like
it's more
rest
of
my
an
voice a
insurance
bit
policy
today.
at this point,
I was
especially
streaming
as
way
they
too
did
much
decide to
yesterday,
drop down
and
from the high
my
ground.
voice is still sore, bro.
Absolutely. Yeah, like again,
Actually
that game
crazy.
is still just a fantastic game. The kind of game that just sets you up to just.
I'm
go
good just
into
editing one of
cruise
the scary
control
games
for
right
the rest
now.
of
How
the
about
day.
you? I'm just chilling, bro.
Well, let's
Woke
talk
up late
about
for
Queasy's
FNCS.
trio, because this trio looked in such
Now I've been watching it for the last
rude
hour.
health.
You know,
And
just
we
chilling.
were all in agreement, Takata, weren't we? Going, okay, right, they're going to go for their high ground now. They're going
What
to
time
go
is
for the high
NA
ground
for EU
take,
time?
and then it didn't quite come
It's
to
at
fruition.
4 p.m.
Yeah, you can see here 7
NAC.
zone. They were waiting to see which corner that zone was going to pull towards.
9
they were ready to play high
EU?
if it pulled towards their zone, but
I
it went
wanna
to the
say,
complete opposite
right?
zone. They decided to try and
It
play
depends
low
on what
ground.
country you're in,
As you can
'cause
see, it
Europe
didn't
has
quite
multiple
go
time
their way.
zones.
Swizzy ended up getting knocked. Mustache got knocked shortly after, and then Queasy playing as a solo can only make it so far. So weren't able to really get the zone pulls they were looking for, but overall they had a pretty good match, and you know they're gonna stay in 13th
Fair enough,
place
moving
right now,
places
but
got you
they're
tired.
still gonna
Yeah,
need a
for
big
real,
one
bro.
to take it home, Levin.
For real.
Yeah, towards the end of that game when they were on low ground there, it sort of felt like what it'd feel like to maybe watch like an alien try like acclimatize to human culture. It's like
What happened to your room? It got full box, bro.
What are they
200.
What do I do here? Like, you know, we're used to seeing them up on
Just
high.
lights on? No, I got my lights off, actually.
Yeah,
There's not a single
definitely
light
was
on in this
expecting
room.
to see them in that type of position. But to be fair, Mustache and Swizzy have so much experience, you know, winning on mid and low ground layers. So if they do have to be there again, I wouldn't be too surprised.
Yeah.
We've got 5 spots up for grabs in terms of consistency, as well as
looking
our
like a pretty
5
good
victory
leaderboard so
royale
far,
winners
though.
going through to the finals next weekend. And Mixon and his
He's
trio
gotta get,
11, they're in a
steady
really
quality,
good
you know?
position to qualify right now.
Because they're
I'm a big
slightly
fan of
outside
these
of
guys.
qual.
They're one of my like biggest sort of sleeper teams last major, because every time I watched them, you know, shining, they looked really good. And this season again, I think they're a really
Not the
big
sunlight
sleeper
halo?
team.
Nah, it's fine.
They're
It's a
the type of
cloudy
team
day.
that sort of just show up in end games, you know, and most people you ask them like, oh, how did these guys get there? They won't be able to tell you. I have no clue, but they're there every single time. And they're very cohesive. They're very much on the same page. You see that as soon as they're not on the same page, that's how combat ends up getting picked off, right? Usually they're all sort of in the same box, you know, hip to hip, which definitely works in their favor.
Yeah, I mean, all they have to do is kind of keep it up. They remind me a little bit of how Camiseti Charlie have been playing throughout the day. So, I mean, these are some of the trios that they just kind of have to keep getting to the end games, but that's what they
Do you think
excel
Typical
at.
Gamer
So if
wins
they can keep doing that
FNCS
for the
before
remainder,
clicks?
They should be able to make
Bro,
it
if that
So,
happens,
Takata, are you
oh
predicting
my
a
gosh.
victory royale for Camiseti and Cherry?
I mean, he's doing pretty good right now. Didn't he qual
To
Div
be
1?
honest, I'd expect more victory royale from a trio like
I'm pretty sure he's
Queasy,
playing West,
especially
right?
just, you know, based on previous play style. I think Camiseti Cherry is more a trio that will qualify through consistency. They can win a match. It can go their way if they get the right pulls, just everything's set up for them. But if not, I think they'll make it through consistency.
But I worry about them because then they're obviously trying to guarantee getting to the end game every time. This is the way that we expect them to play, but they're up against so many thirsty trios, Levin, that I worry
hang on.
about them
I'm back.
getting blocked out from next
I'm back.
Yeah, I mean, it's always a possibility with this format. I think I would feel more confident about them getting a win, maybe.
Does
than
NA
Takata
start as
does,
one
just
ease
because,
over? No, it's like
you
a
know,
break
even
in
in the
between.
games we've seen them, they have tried to play for high. The last game, they tried to play for high. It's just
Turn off
unlucky.
slow-mo,
They're
sure.
them up there, right? And so the more and more teams I think win games, the more and more, you know, I feel confident about them sort of getting that right win condition.
And do I feel confident about
He moved to
Taco's
Texas? No, I
name?
didn't.
Yes,
I am
got
nowhere
it
near
right. So
Texas.
let's
I did
head
not
over
move to
Mini
Texas,
Mark.
and I will not move to Texas anytime soon.
Thanks
Don't
so
spread
much.
rumors.
But hey, we're hoping to see some of the stars align for some of these teams that are falling just shy of that top 10 on the leaderboard position here, Mini. And not only that, but third time's a charm. You never know. And as looking at Veno, Vico, and Flixie, the fact that they haven't actually found their victory royale just might come as a surprise to a lot of people. But
Typical Gamer won
they're gonna have
FNCS
to
before in
just
Chapter
fight
2?
their
No, he
way
didn't.
through
What?
it. It's something they've been doing
What?
all day long, and I don't think they plan on slowing down.
Dude,
here in
a
Game 3.
match, winning a match in FNCS and winning FNCS are two very different things.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. It's a team
Just
that
as an
will just
FYI.
keep plowing on, whether they win or not. They're going to be continuing. I mean,
Yo,
it
what's
just
up?
speaks
Odin
volumes
Finn?
about how much we rate them and how good they really are that we're talking about this in game number 3.
There's very few people that have ever won
FNCS,
FNCS, chat.
I think we'll be talking
Just
about
as
them
a
being in the Major 2 finals
general
at some
thing.
point today. No doubt, but game number 3 here. This
Very,
is a big
very,
moment
very
for
fair.
a lot of
Very
our
few
teams,
people
for a lot of
won.
our off-spawn battles as well. This can really
I believe
be
you can
where
look it up
things can
online.
start to turn, particularly since we saw.
What's that one comp
Mandalay
website that
towards
shows
the
people
Skyjump having a
FNCS
really
wins?
solid off-spawn fight last game. See if they can replicate that again.
It's not Fortnite Chapter, it's the other one.
Though we haven't got an immediate
It shows like a
elimination, an immediate
full like wiki
Just
page
playing each side
of
of the
competitive
drop spot
achievements.
So far, Taco, not quite
I don't
that
know.
same
I can't think of
aggression
it.
that we saw in game.
Yo, Kyler with the $5. Thank you so much, Kyler. Appreciate that, dude. I'm such a big fan. Thank you, bro. I appreciate that, Kyler. Thank you, man.
W5 nicely. So
Mero has
big
6 FNCS
opening
wins?
scene,
Yeah, he
set
racked
and
it up
ready
for a
to
while,
play
bro.
Out here, Bendy with a little bit of a celebration, even and for good reason.
Fortnite GG, not Fortnite
You are
GG.
dealing with
It's the other one.
50-50 off-spawn fights.
I don't think
You
Fortnite
can't
GG does
really
comp
afford
stuff.
to miss out on more than one match.
What's
at
good?
a
What's the
time,
good, Clutch?
Especially not if you want to stay.
Hey,
in
it's the other one,
contention,
chat. Not Fortnite
winning
GG, not
for
Fortnite
that
Chapter. It's the
16th place
other
on
one.
the leaderboard. Team still looking to try and
No hate to them, but their
build
website
as
looks like
many
trash.
points as possible.
It's that
They
one.
can establish themselves firmly in that
They got a
position.
very messy website. It looks like a wiki page from the early 2000s. But they have all of the competitive achievements and FNCS placements of every player.
Didn't really associate with them at their drop spot, going towards the north side, taking
I'm just gonna look it
couple
up.
of eliminations potentially earlier on, so that's only going to help them in their search for that top 5 in consistency. For this fight, though, this is something we have seen go in
I think it's this
Ewick
website.
and Anzen's way, but
Yeah, it's this
looks like this
website.
time it seems like it's going to go
It's-
their way
it's literally
again.
the
They get that
Fortnite
first
wiki.
knock onto Della, which is not ideal for that team.
No hate to them, but
Reason.
I'm just not a fan of their
We saw them
website
having a really
layout.
good game one.
But yeah,
They
it
are
shows you
able to
all of the
replicate those.
placements
Bevies does
that person's
go
ever
down
had.
to
So this is
50
Miro,
HP. Lovely
all the way
shots
back in
onto Ewick to
2020. It
turn
shows
the
you his
tides on
placement
that
for
one.
every
And now you
single
say that
tournament.
This is a duo that look like an Maybe
and
on
then it
top
has
right here
PR
as Axel's
points,
just still
region,
applying that pressure.
platform.
Unzen trying to get his way around. Hits a great shot onto Axel's, but there's no chance of being enough really when you just as a solo. And again,
why don't you play comp anymore? Ping, no trio.
Wounded team of Axe-Force and Bevy
I haven't played comp in
Della.
so many years,
This
man.
could be dangerous for them.
And we've seen how these third-party circumstances can actually end up being hiccups themselves. Voltiac's gonna lose practically all of his shield outright here. Cool and Siren now looking to try and cut off Axe-Force. Great return shots, but Axe-Force, he'll still be able to scurry backwards. Siren just trying to see if he can finalize the pick-off. And sure enough, Axe-Force will fall.
All that clutch and this get cleaned up.
It's solely
That sucks, man.
Bevies who might be left standing here. No, not even the case. Siren,
Solo
Cool,
CC?
and Voltiax
No.
have successfully
I don't
won
want to
out
play any solo
the
cash
Captain
cups on
Factory with
100
that
ping,
third-party
bro.
Exchange.
That's just like,
Malibu
that's...
Ping and Walks on the other hand. They've got
I
more
value my
company than what they were
sanity,
bargaining
you know?
for at the train, and they're not careful. The rest of the map might take notice as well. Adrix will be collected though.
Because if I play a solo cash cup, the only way I'm qualling round 2 is literally doing nothing the whole match. It would just be me aimlessly tarping and getting surge tags, and then tarping, and then surge tags, and just getting placement points. I wouldn't be able to get any kills, bro.
Unfortunately, gonna just have to fall
It'd
back.
suck. Brantley with a new member! Thank you so much, Brantley. Appreciate you, man. Thank you.
This is what I was talking about earlier. They're sort of trying a few different strategies off spawn, where they're landing, how they're rotating, where are they going to, and it seems like this game they want to try and go for that mythic pump, of course, claiming that train. You get that every single game that spawns in the same place.
Bro, hit me with a Halo, we need to talk.
And they're able to find that mythic pump.
Halo,
as well as a
we
slew
need
of
to
other loot
talk.
that is in that area. For the Mars Meadows team, Chino, Pablo, Wingu, and Fred Oxy, it's been all right for them so far. They've been okay. It hasn't been an amazing day, but they've been keeping in contention for that top 5 in consistency qual. I think Mars Meadows with that black
Breeze with the
market
$1
does have
thing,
the
bro.
potential in terms of loot for a team to get a win from Taco. I think it's got enough there for them. We just haven't seen that prowess yet in the end game. They've just had a couple of decent games.
Stop with the ping. Bro, you asked me why I don't play solo cashes. Or no, you didn't, but you guys asked me a question and then you complain when I give you an answer. Like,
make your way through these games like Combat Blaster, and mix them potentially.
if you used to get 50 ping in comp, you can compete. It's not entirely possible. I know. I don't want to. You know, it's like
see the difference in playstyles
with the meta right now. It's just, it won't be fun.
Remember,
you
some
know?
of these teams, they're looking to make more of a statement, and especially
I think if it was a really good meta
that's considered
for
so
higher ping, I'd be
high-tiered as
interested,
this one,
but
if you can
it's like,
confirm
I
a victory
don't care
royale
to, you know?
in these kinds of matchups.
I know I'm just going to get really mad at the game, and then I'm going to get frustrated at my competitive performance. I might place like top 500, top 300 or something like that. But knowing that I could play so much better if I had actually decent internet on Central, it would just make me upset, and like, I don't feel like doing all that, you know? I'd be down to play trios, because trios I could get carried, and it doesn't matter as much you're paying in trios.
Granted, it's
still very important, but it doesn't matter as much.
Push off of, because you're just inviting other
you know, I don't have a
teams to then
trio,
hold
so
you
it's
at
like,
bay, hold you on that French position.
yeah, I could just play with anybody for trios, but if I'm gonna play comp, I want a trio that's really good. I want 2 like actual pros that can carry me fully. And I want to get Div 1 FNCS, and you know, I want to qual for stuff. So
back and forth here between the bridge and Seaport
I'm in a
City.
weird position with this, you know.
And with all of the,
and I mean, yes, obviously I could just trio with literally anybody, play FNCS, and you know, just try to make content from it and troll. But I'm a very competitive person, so if I'm not doing well, I don't want to even play it, you know.
Happy doing that, just
because I'd rather just make YouTube videos, you know. Because comp takes a lot of time, you know what I mean? Like if I play it, I want to do well. Even if I'm making content on it, I want to do well, you know. And yo, Kyler with the upgrade membership to Epic Gamer. Thank you so much, Kyler. Appreciate you, bro.
No, it's more to the north, actually.
Thank you.
So the team Sangil.
I play them on 60 ping, usually do pretty good, top 700, 800, but it's hard to get kills or play defensive when you get pushed with someone that has 0 ping. Yeah, that's what I mean, Warren, you know? Like, if I'm playing, like, 80 ping to 100 ping, it's like 100 ping off spawn on Central, and then it goes down to, like, 80 after, like, you know, a little bit. So if I'm playing on 80, dude, and I'm playing a solo cash cup, the second I get in a fight, GG, you know what I mean? It's just, I don't know. I feel like I'd get really mad. I'd get stream sniped a lot if I do it on stream, and then it's like, oh, just do it off stream. But then it's like, why am I doing it?
In terms of
you know, like I'm only playing the cup because I'm trying to make content on it. You know, I'm not playing to win $500. I'm playing to get content. So it's like,
cups as well.
I don't
The NA
know.
Central
It's
Divisional
this
Cup finals. They
weird
made every single finals
back and forth.
in that region as well. So
You know?
no matter what ping, no matter what circumstances, they're still putting in the grind. And the Della and Bevies, they've lost Axe Force, which is strange because, of course, Della was down earlier
I mean, I could play
they've been
West,
able to
though.
escape that difficult
Honestly,
situation off spawn, and now it's up to
To
them
make
try and
money.
get them.
I don't care for the money in comp,
This is
bro.
just Della
Not in the
out
slightest.
no man's land.
It's
The last
whatever, bro.
lobby, we saw how many teams were
I
getting
just wanna
kind
make
of caught
content
up
of
in
it.
that fighting zone territory. Cool, Voltiac, Siren still trying to fight things out here. Kappa Kappa, finally, Siren gonna open the door here. Abdul will fall, but Cool, just underneath the underbelly of these builds. Reuniting with this team.
This is a big old build fight, bro. Oh my gosh. These guys are getting grief from this.
It almost appears as if they
West is free money if you're a solid player.
Being down on
I
teammate.
mean,
But it's more so just the escape factor that they had in mind.
maybe
This route
chat,
gonna
instead
get cut off,
of
though,
going to
by Cool.
Dallas, we go to
Still, don't want to
is
consider
Cali Zero?
anything as a total freebie. YZY.
Live there for a
Gonna at least
month,
force Cool
win an
to come to
FNCS
a
in
slight
West,
bit of a pause here.
move back.
Heights just stuck. That's
Yeah,
what it
I
seems
get
like
you,
for
Warren.
both of
That's
these
what I'm
teams.
talking about. You know what I mean?
There needs to be
Like,
a
I don't feel like
conclusion.
doing all that. And then kids are gonna sit
Now,
there and
rather
like
than
bully me
later,
for being
and Siren,
trash at the game
he's not
because I'm not
careful.
doing fast edits in the
He's
solo
actually
cash cup because I'm on
finding
80
as the
plus
target.
ping, you know?
Thankfully,
And it's like,
he does have two
if
other
I'm just gonna
teammates
get
to back
bullied
him
by
up,
kids in my comment
so that will
section
be
on the
a
video I
confirmed
make, and it's just gonna get less
elimination.
views because I'm gonna
YZY,
do bad. You know, it's just
fact
like,
is,
I
he's
don't
also
know.
just lurking.
Like,
Things are a
if
little
I
bit
get like
more
a solid
messy, though,
20
than
ping
what
central
Voltiacs have been
on a
after
solo
initially.
cash cup, I'd probably play it.
Definitely, I think they would have thought that
I would
YZY
probably
would just
play
run
it.
away
I mean,
now,
even though
so
my
YZY
sanity
is
wouldn't be
opting to
great,
sit
I'd
here.
probably play it
It's not actually
anyway.
a bad play at all. I think they would have just thought, yeah, he's run away.
I don't know. If there's anything you
That's
guys
not a
know
problem at
of
all,
that I
but
could
for
do to
YZY
get
to
better
be able
ping,
to
please let me know for
potentially do a
Central.
reboot with that reboot van right next door.
Because I don't live that far away from Dallas.
This is something we saw earlier.
I'm not going to
Glubshy
say the exact amount of miles, but
actually
you know,
trying to
I'm like
lurk
a
in
good
this,
state
sort of
away.
area.
I'm decently
Fortunately,
close.
the
I should be able to get
Sand Guild,
30,
he's
no
lost both of
problem.
his teammates.
And I have fiber,
I
but
was
I
saying,
still
this is
can't
what
get good
Glubshy
ping,
and
so
Frax
really weird. And
and,
don't say exit lag. That stuff doesn't work.
Ripay do very well. It's just that sort
And
of
yo,
lurking around these areas,
Kyler
so
with
many
a
trees as well to take cover
$20.
from.
Thank you so
And
much,
there's just
Kyler.
so much
I live in Texas and still have 25 ping. It's because your internet connection. If you upgrade your router or get Ethernet or get
in the last
fiber,
grand
you'll get
finals
full
as well,
zero, bro.
the Major one
It's just because of your equipment.
Whatsoever.
But thank you so much for the $20, bro.
For Sand Guild and company, without the company so far, things are looking okay. Because he's not getting aggressed at the moment.
There is just so much happening, and then nothing at the same time here. All these teams in the surrounding area risk going to be... That is, what, 24 splashes that we're looking at right now? Sitting on one trio. So we
With
know who's
the
already
$500 dono!
black market.
Oh
And
my
yet, It doesn't seem
gosh!
as though Sticks and Risk are actually going to be able to
Dude,
move out of this
thank
position
you!
anytime soon here.
Holy
at Magic Monsters.
cow,
But I'm also
man.
thinking about a team like Canvas
Brother just
and
dropped
Ari.
500.
Definitely just
Oh
keep
my
notice
God.
of everything that's taking place. All those teams, all the shots being fired. They're bound to be doing that. And
Bro, thank you so much for the $500 dono, man. I appreciate that so much. Yo, massive shout out to you, Brantley. Thank you. I genuinely really appreciate that. Thank you. I'm very grateful, bro. Holy cow, that is a lot of money, bro. That is a lot of money. That's a PlayStation 5. Thank you, bro. I really appreciate that, dude. W Brantley in the chat, boys. W Brantley. Unfortunately, I cannot add, man. I don't do pay to play or pay for donos, or pay to play for donos, or pay to add or anything of that sort. But we do play customs, you know, every now and again on stream. It's free to play, so if you're on stream and want to play when I'm hosting them, definitely join up. But yeah, unfortunately, I can't do it pay to play, pay to add, or anything of that sort. But I really appreciate you, Brantley. Like, thank you. Like, genuinely, I'm very grateful, bro. That is a whole ton of money right there. That is crazy. So thank you so much. Can we get some W's up in the chat for Brantley, guys? Thank you, man. Thank you.
More often than not.
Appreciate you so much, bro.
Really trying their best
W
here
man
to change the way that they're playing. Playing way deep inside of the storm. Of course, a much different sort of early
Did you try guessing ranks based on their locker? Like their sweaty
Using
combos?
those launch pads to try and make their way around as much as possible.
That'd be kind of hard, though.
I think they did take advantage of that early fight, didn't they, at the train? So they have that flexibility now to play this
Adam,
more
chat, I have the
sort of
rule for
slow
a
and
reason, man.
consistent style of gameplay at this beginning.
I tell you guys all the time, I don't do pay to play and I don't do pay to ad. I'm
Just
sorry,
evident
man.
that the black market
I'm not gonna get peer
really
pressured
made
into
it
breaking
possible
rules,
for
bro. I'm
everybody
sorry.
to do
I love you guys
their
so very
best
much.
Venom impression.
Obviously, Brantley,
Is
huge
really
shout out
what
to you,
it's
man. I
seeming
really
like.
do
I mean,
appreciate
you've
you,
got a
bro.
handful of players that are always
That means a lot to me.
notorious for opting to play the dead side,
But
opting to just
I
play
gotta keep
deep
firm on the
inside those storm
rule,
positions,
you know?
get the more
Like,
favorable
no matter
rotates
the amount of
after
money, I don't do
build
pay to
their
play and I don't do
circle
pay to
early
ad.
on,
I say it all the time. I say it on my streams
everybody's
daily.
doing the
People donate
exact
all the
same
time asking
thing
for
here,
ads.
Vinny.
And I appreciate the love, but
Definitely
like,
cause some problems.
I can't like
Dead side starts
do
to
your
look a whole
bidding
lot
because you
less
don't know. Do you know what I mean?
so, and,
Obviously, in this
well,
case, it's just an
task
ad on Fortnite, but I
force,
do have it as a
you would
rule. I don't do pay to
think
play.
they'd be
I
out
don't
of
do
the
pay to
thick of it by
ad.
now, instead, caught
So
with
I'm
YZY's
sorry, man.
team
You know,
at
I gotta
hopeful
stay
heights.
firm on it.
Both sides desperately needing a little bit of surge damage.
Because like
though.
just
They wanna keep
yesterday,
things
someone
moving
donated
here in this
$50
third lobby.
and he wanted an ad on
YZY, Abdul
Fortnite.
Ubu.
I really appreciate the love
They've
on
yet
that.
to
I'm not gonna
find
say their
their
name,
opening shot.
but I really appreciate the love on that. But it's like
themselves out
if I
slowly,
add one person for $500, but not another kid for $50,
got to make
you know
these
that person's gonna be
quick,
sad, or
but
all of the other people that donated $2 or $5 or whatever for an ad. You know, like I gotta stick
just
to my
doesn't
rule.
look like
You know what I
anything is
mean?
going to give here.
I gotta stick to the rule.
And bevies do need these.
But Kyler with the
knocks to damage because they
$5.
had to
Thank you so much,
do a couple
Kyler.
of
Appreciate you, man.
reboots earlier on in the game. They
What
got
do I
that
connect the Ethernet
early damage that they got from that,
to? You connect it to your
old school
Ethernet
fight. Bevies
port
connects with
if
a
you have
beautiful
any
shot
in
there
your
in
walls or
terms of
anything like
late game.
that. You can also connect it, I believe, directly to your
Another great
router,
connection onto Buzz.
depending on
That's
what you
how it's
got.
done. And it's now
Just
up to
add
Vela
everyone.
and Bevies.
I mean, I do have an account where I add everyone, but I hit the maximum amount of friends in Fortnite, so I can't add anyone else. I can remove some people.
HP. It's only Della with the shield, but the
It's
white HP is
TTV
dwindling, so it's an
HaloBT.
even playing field in terms of health. It's whether YZY can connect with one of these shots as Della hops on in, but no.
But yeah,
no
I
chance
hit the
for
max amount of
YZY.
friends on
Della
Fortnite.
and
It's like
Bevies
5,000
are the surviving
something.
players in that fight, and they're going to
I
run
can't
away
add anyone else on there.
as the victors.
I could
Crucial
unadd
storm surge
people, though,
damage
but
for
that'd be
them.
kinda
They're gonna have to
crazy.
pick up Axels, which I think is going to be their third reboot of the game. We get to see this beautiful double knock here from Bevies.
That was a good play from
First
Bevies.
one under the ramp and the second one through
was
the
cooking?
window. Peekaboo, and he's back to the lobby.
Just knowing that there's still such an uphill battle to deal with. I'm not going to say it's impossible by any means, although I'm sure that they would have preferred to have won out that exchange without having lost a teammate in the process. Tidy, Jewel, and Sangil. It looks like they might be circling their way through Magic Mosses, but they're fully aware of the fact that they've got a team kind of
This is
trailing.
a bit sketchy. They get
from
tagged up
behind them
twice and they're
to
gonna
more
get keyed.
north. That might just
Oh, I
be
saw
the
him.
play though for
Ooh.
Jewel.
They cracked him. They're keying that.
Up instead. It's way too much damage
Oh, man.
in the process. At least this campfire is gonna buy him a little bit more white HP than what he needs. Tidy, on the other
That's
hand,
mid-breakfast.
hoping
Let's
to
go, bro.
find a separate angle, but there is no opportunities here for Tidy and Sangil just yet. They know they've got to keep things moving forward. They can't afford to get caught in the storm for this long, especially being aware of the fact that there's teams that have already gotten ahead of them. They're already based inside of the zone.
Yeah, the zone does pull in their favor though, so they shouldn't have too long of a
Just got
rotation.
back home from
Kaito,
Hawaii. Nice, bro. How's
Haijo,
Hawaii?
and Turtle
Have you guys ever been to
making the
Hawaii?
most
Let me know
of
in
that.
chat. Did you like it? I have Hawaii on my
For them to
bucket
be
list,
just
bro.
on
I
the
gotta
edge
go at
here.
least one day.
They are above though, so
I haven't really traveled
they're looking
much.
pretty good in that department. And Vico,
I feel like Hawaii is
Flixie, and
just chill,
Veno
you know?
are making
Like,
their
I
way
wouldn't
inside
wanna
the
go
zone.
for a
We saw
very
them
long
have so
time
many
because
eliminations in that last
there's
game.
not
They've
a
got their
whole
sights
lot
set
to
on
do
even
from what
more.
I've
They've
heard
haven't got
besides
any
just
so
like
far,
beautiful
and you can see one on
scenery
the
and
right
like
side of the screen.
stuff like
No
that.
storm surge damage, at least not enough to
When
be
I
over the
travel,
threshold,
I like
so
doing like
this is going to be one of those chop
amusement
situations
parks
potentially where they try and chop
and
this team out.
you know, museums and that kind of
drop
stuff.
down. They know what's coming.
But
And for Vico, Veno, Flixie,
yeah, no, I definitely want to go for like at least a week.
The analyst broke it down at the beginning of the day. This fight, the way that they fight is so important.
Go to
Obviously,
Antarctica.
Veno's applying as much
Nah,
pressure
I'm
as
good,
possible,
bro.
nice and up close.
Go to Greece?
Vico,
Yeah, I would love to
Flixie
go to
looking
Greece,
at
bro.
other angles, but no, it's not successfully, unfortunately, as Vico does fall. It's all now up to Veno and Flixie.
I
as
want to
Vico
get
does
like
finished as well.
mega
So
rich
now it's turned into a
and
very,
then
very
just
difficult
take like
situation with
a
this trio who now have
massive
a
private jet
disadvantage
and
in
just
terms
go
of
to
players.
like
There needs to be a
20
big
different
connection from
countries
one
in
of these
Europe
two. It's not gonna be from
in like
Flixie who
2
does
weeks
fall.
or
It's gonna be
something.
Veno who can
Because you
bring
could just go
another
from
shot,
country to
which gets
country
the
to country to
knock,
country to
and
country,
hopefully
you
now
know?
Vinny can turn
Because
the
everything in
tide
Europe
in
is so
his
close to footage, totally.
But it's going to
I
have
feel
to
like
have the
that'd be sick.
experience of Veno.
Turn into a YouTube video or something, right?
Here against a
Little
very
vlog action.
formidable team. It's Bendy on the other side of it. Great shot from Veno. Another shot onto Faded. Now Veno's looking like he's got a bit of
It probably costs like $1 million, but that would be like
73 is going
the
to be
trip
enough
of a
to do
lifetime,
some damage,
you know?
but not enough to take him out as Bendy still tries to get inside of the box.
What's your
Still
desk?
trying to stay aggressive,
It's a
as Veno's
cheapy desk.
Still trying to heal up as well.
It's
He's got
not
so much
great.
piece
It's
control,
kinda
Veno.
like
It's not going to be enough to
slapped
find
together.
that shot. He does get the siphon from Tex as well. So huge
my
turn
actual
for
desk
Veno.
that I
He just
use,
needs
because
to
this
get
is a temporary desk that I have
next
just for the
knock,
sake
but
of
no,
this
the other
setup.
team are able to
My
heal up
actual
Taco.
desk is
looking so
really
good from
nice. It's a
Time
full
has
metal
already been
desk.
spent
I
at
can go
this
up and
point.
down.
It's
It
just Veno
has a bunch of
looking for
accessories and other
elimination
junk
points,
on
if
it.
anything at all. Faded and Bendy, they might not even allow
It's
for
the
that.
Secret
They've
Labs
done
something
so much
something.
damage.
It was really
towards how
nice.
this match
But yeah,
will play
this
out for,
desk,
Vico and
yeah,
Flixie,
I wouldn't recommend the one
now
I'm using
they're
right now.
just gonna run out like
It's like an
bandits.
IKEA special type of vibe, you know?
Rather injured themselves.
I just need something for this room.
It's just the fact that they're at least a pairing. They're not
What's up,
left in
Halo?
that
What's up, King?
solo kind of clutch situation. Veno might be able to make something happen as far
Why
as
don't you
additional
use it?
placement
'Cause it's
points
in my
are
other
concerned,
room.
but right now, they're probably just happy to know that they are rather
We're
solidified
renovating
in
the
that
house
top
right
end of the
now to
consistency
make
side
a
for the leaderboard.
massive stream room.
Tell you what, there aren't many players in this lobby
And the
that
whole
will be
room
able
is
to,
custom
as a
designed
solo,
for me to stream in.
force a
It's
duo
sick.
to run and
So
disengage
this
for a
room
fight
is
like
a
that.
temporary
Veno
setup.
doing absolutely everything he could
know?
to stay in the
So
game.
because
He's
we're
taking
building
both
that,
them
I
out
have
as
all
well,
of my
so
like high-end
again,
equipment
just
in there.
highlights how good
And
Veno
then
really is.
everything in
those
here
box
is
fight
just, like,
situations.
kinda
Every
slapped
single one of
together,
that
you know?
trio, any of them in that situation, and I'm sure the team.
Yeah, I mean,
would
this
still
sounds
run
pretty
away.
nice,
We can
though,
see
to
that
be
very
fair.
team right now. Bendy
I got my
Faded, of
computers
course, now
that are
just
really
down
good,
as a
but
duo.
yeah, everything else is kind of slapped together.
Just shows
I need to buy a
how
new mouse pad too. This thing's getting
important
ripped
it is
apart.
just to keep applying that pressure
Not
when you're in
great.
that solo clutch situation as Veno was
Did you
doing.
move to
He wasn't
Texas?
boxing
No.
up and backing down. He was
No Texas.
connecting with shots, being on the front foot, getting aggressive, using the piece control that he had. It's worked out in his favor so far if he's still in the game.
Malibuca
Yo, King with the $10, man. Thank you so much, King. Yo, appreciate you, bro. Thank you. W10, man. Thank you so much.
They're just focused on trying.
You guys are going
to
crazy with the
water,
donuts today, bro.
essentially.
Thank you. I'm
Lone
very
Wolf
grateful, man.
Lair, just
What's your favorite
way
Lego set?
Too much traffic than what they'd initially bargained for, and they're gonna
Ooh,
dive right in.
Malibuca
Malibuca will fall.
Dude, I don't know. I don't think I can pick one as my
Watson being
favorite.
Directly behind him. Hopefully,
I got too many
they'll be
favorites.
able to go for the double revive. They've at least got one knock in their favor as well. And Jewel, the only member left standing.
You look kinda
from this
sad. I'm
trio,
tired.
he's gonna actually
There's a
focus in
difference.
on just making sure that he brings Malibuca back
I'm a little
into the
EP
fight.
sleepy.
They know that they've
I
got
slept
to
like
keep
10
things
hours
moving
last night.
here,
I slept good,
but they
bro.
still want
But I'm
to
still
make sure that
tired,
they
you know?
collect
I feel like if I sleep
everything
too
they've
much,
gone through,
it's
the
equivalent
efforts
to
of
me
the first place.
sleeping
Jewel,
like a couple of hours. I don't
finalized, the body loop
know what there
brought
is
into
about it.
action.
But
King wants
yeah,
Malibuca.
it's so weird. You guys feel that
Got a
too?
moment to
Like if you
breathe.
sleep like 12 hours,
In
you feel
comparison to where the
rested
rest of the
less
lobby stands,
than if you
though, they
sleep like
definitely
7
gotta
hours.
keep their wits about them.
I don't know if it's just me, bro, but yeah.
Nicely done from that team.
I
They're on
I
that low
slept
ground, so they
too
weren't getting
good
focused
that
from
now
everywhere
I'm
else.
like, I'm
Everyone's getting
still
focused from them.
tired.
No, it's Combeck, Mixon, and Blaho.
It's
and
weird.
In a difficult situation.
You can't
Not
be
only are they
sleeping
getting
too
looked at by
good,
so
bro.
many people, but
I
the
slept like a
score
baby,
is
bro.
closing
Full
in
10
behind them as
hours.
well. These
Holy cow,
splashes
man.
are
I
gonna have to come into
overslept.
play.
I slept through my alarm.
And this is going to be a really, really important
Almost
rotation
missed
for this
FNCS
team. Who are
today.
really high up in the standings. I believe they're our first place consistency team.
Yeah, it's
going
weird,
into
man.
this
I
game.
feel like the optimal sleep,
Spending so
I know
many
we're yapping a
materials to
lot
make
today,
them
but I
look
feel like the
strong and
optimal sleep
healthy
is
as
around
possible.
7 hours.
Even
At least for
the
me. I
materials
mean,
might not
everyone's
suggest
different,
that.
but
You can see why they got in this situation
Like,
as well.
I got
They
like 7
held up in
hours
this
and
fight. They
change,
had
and I
to hit
feel
the revive. You can see them
fantastic.
taking out a good number of
But anything
players.
less, anything more,
You can
it's
see
like
that
you
very
start getting,
moment the storm
yeah, you
starts
start getting in the
closing in.
weird area.
So it's so difficult for them to then recoup, recover. They can use those
This
materials.
is gonna be a
now to
YouTube
claim
video.
them
No,
to the high
I'm not turning any of this into a YouTube video.
It's really
I'm just streaming for fun, and I want to check out FNCS. I was gonna watch this anyway, on or off stream, so I might as well stream it. You
That'll
know.
definitely play a pretty big part in terms of their success throughout the course of this end game. But Cammy, Seti, Hari are in a whole world of trouble here.
Nice, Seti.
Gonna actually
W clutch.
catch Siren completely off guard. Just
This is a
way
weird
too
end game,
fixated
bro.
on the target
Everyone's on
directly in
dead
front of
side.
them. A really great flank opportunity that just opened itself up there. Mustache and Swizzy, though, this is the kind of terrain that you would expect this team to be in, taking over the high ground. And whether or not they're going to be able to command control of it is probably going to dictate the outcome of this game here.
They playing Fortnite
crucial
after?
thing
I'm
about
not
this game
sure.
is they boxed up
We're just
in
gonna take
that
it
last
by.
game, and they didn't get 8th zone. This time 8th zone's pulled in
Take it
their
slow,
favor.
you know?
They've actually taken advantage of that now. They've been able to box out all the way up on height, claim that position, which they weren't able to do in that last game. So this game's looking so much more promising for them in terms of that early positioning in this end game.
Rotates.
And this could be their final chance to, or their chance to finally get that win, I should say. As Wox, Ping, and Vbucks still in the game.
These guys are really
6
good as a
eliminations
trio.
so far as well.
One
finding
person was
themselves in a
tarping and
nice
placing
position just on that
cones,
sort of second height
and the
layer
other
just
person
below
came in and placed the
Queasy,
floors.
Swizzy, and Mustache, as the rest of the lobby continues
They got that
to look up.
chemistry
And I
down.
think it was Eclipse there trying to build up as well. So Queasy might have another problem on his hands.
How you doing today? I
do.
watch you on YouTube, but never have watched on Twitch. What's up, Frog?
CCTV and
Doing great,
Eclipse
man. How
try
you?
and take it off them, but it's an immovable object, that high ground. And as I say that, it all comes crumbling down. But luckily, this team had the experience. They saw that coming. I think they're going to be able to hold on to height here, Taco, but albeit with a little bit less materials than they would have liked at this stage.
Sweezy, he's just got a ball out of control at this point. He's already got 1 knock, so that's going to definitely give him enough firepower to keep going. But Seti and Hari, they were actually the ones taking note of that high ground. They were the ones actually trying to chop him out. Malabuka, Ping, and Wox from secondary height position. They've been holding things down slow and steady, but Swizzy, Queasy, Mustache, they're the ones who are in the driver's seat currently. They're trying to control the flow of this lobby. Malabuka now trying to see if he can tarp up towards the high ground, but Ping gonna cost
Oh man, he got lasered there.
in the process of moving upwards, trying to follow behind his teammate Malabuka.
They made a new granny game. Would you play it? Oh, 100%.
A bit of a pause here.
100%, bro.
Queasy, Swizzy, and Mustache, though, they are relentless. This is how height is meant to be played, though, just refusing to budge or allow anybody to threaten their position.
Nobody can take over that high ground control right now. The rest of the lobby's just too focused on getting over this massive hill that's going to be in their way. Nobody's looking on up. You can see Cami, Seti, and Chari doing that exact
I want to see if anyone does it in chat. I know the meme's dead, but...
This low ground section of the map. They're trying to take
Does anyone type it?
Lucy, Loki, and QB. Loki does fall there.
This is the official Fortnite
the
stream.
beginning of this fight, and this is what this trio needed.
Nah,
they needed that
man, the
refresh. They
meme's
needed
dead,
those
bro.
materials to continue their low ground dominance. We have one of the
It's dead. No one's
iconic
typing it.
high ground
Oh, we got
trios in
one
Queasy,
person.
Mustache, and Swizzy, and now one of the most famous low
I
ground
think,
trios.
bro,
in
it
Seti,
actually
Cami,
fell off.
and Chari. Who's going to come out
Oh
on
my
top?
gosh.
Ping,
No, that's crazy,
Malabuka,
bro.
Wox, they've just been so innocuous.
I didn't think it was gonna fall off that quick.
That
sucks, man.
These teams
That was a good meme. I like that meme a lot.
That front side low. Finally, Ping, Wox, Malabuka, they're going to get their move on. They want to ensure that they are maintaining this front side position here on the low ground. But Swizzy, Queasy, Mustache, they might drop within a moment's notice. They can tell that the lobby is smothering itself underneath them. And Swizzy, he wants more, but Ping, he's going to have to answer first to everybody that's pulling in behind him. Blaha mixing combat, knocking on the other side of these walls. But Blaha, he can't take it just yet. Avala and Kovac's going to slow him down.
Bro's rocking a gray scoped SMG right now. Oh man. Not in the end game, bro. This meta is so goofy.
That are trying to take it off. Queasy and Co.
Those guys might be dead. Oh, they're dead.
And Malabuka, they're left down
Oh,
as a
no,
duo.
Matt,
Of course,
yeah, they're
Wox
dead.
goes down and they're fully out.
They played
It's
good,
over
though.
for them in this game, but a solid game overall. Queasy and Swizzy all the way up on height. Mustache finding eliminations on low ground as well. The materials are going to be enjoyed, but not quite going to be enough to continue their high ground reign. They just got to keep spraying on down, applying as much pressure as they can, and that's exactly what they're doing right now. As it's all going crazy on low ground, Cami managed to find Kire right there, not without falling as Chari.
Oh, man.
Cami and Seti now, the
Nah, they're good,
duo on low ground.
I thought that team was gonna key him. Come on, Cammy. Come on, Seti.
The healthiest looking trio in this lobby.
The thing is, that Queasy on height, like, they're most likely gonna win this, but...
To try and maintain some composure on the low ground. But
Oh,
it's not
man,
gonna be
Seti goes
enough.
down. Cammy has to
Cammy
clutch.
is the lone wolf trying
Oh,
to continue
man.
this dream forward, but
Nah,
Swizzy,
Queasy's
Queasy,
team
and
wins.
Mustache, you might as well feel
Yeah,
the
this is a
victory
free
lap
win for
coming into
Queasy's
play
team, bro.
here. The heel lock
Holy cow,
might
they
have
cooked,
been
though. They played that really
if
well.
Cammy had a little
It's
bit
the hype
more
teams that
of
keep
the
winning,
to
chat. I
work
keep
with.
saying, like, this
Unfortunately,
meta
though,
with that
stuck
good
in the back
ARs,
zone, scrambling
I know I
around
haven't
trying to
played
see if
any
they can
comp,
find
and I know I've barely
right
watched any
heels,
comp this
but we
season,
knew how
but just from the
this
little
one
amount
was
of comp
going
that I
to
have
pan
watched,
out
it's
from
height.
the get-go,
Height wins
Minnie.
these games. The ARs are so
Queasy,
good.
Swizzy, and
The
Mustache,
mobility is
as
good
soon
with the
as they were
bats.
able to get
You
that
take height,
confident
you win.
control of the high ground, they just maintained
Simple as
it
that.
all the way through.
Take height, shoot him in the head.
Queasy is up on high in that 8th zone. There's no doubt in your mind. There shouldn't be. any doubt that he's going to go and take that.
Let's see what the prediction's looking like.
Materials when they didn't. Mustache dropped down, picked up materials, picked up the refreshes.
Oh, yeah.
And so many times this
5 people vote for Queasy, Swizzy, and Mustache.
Building up to height that early.
Y'all about to make some money.
Ending up falling, going down to full damage. But that just shows how
Dang,
it's meant to be done.
that's gonna be some cash right there.
Win a game on height. And who
Yo, love for the $10. Thanks so much, love. I appreciate that. Thank you. Hi, hello. I love all of your content. This is my all. I got locked out of everything else, but I love your content. I'm sorry to hear that, by the way. Hope everything gets fixed up. I love all the content. Can you play Fortnite? You're more entertaining than Comp, and you're my favorite YouTuber. Yeah, thank you, bro. Appreciate that. We will play probably some Fortnite later today, but for now, we're gonna watch FNCS because I really want to see who quals from this. This is the most stacked lobby of Europe for all 3 of the groups. So I want to see what happens with this, but yeah, we'll probably run some Fortnite later, you know. But thank you so much for the 10, love. Appreciate that, bro.
The conditions were perfect, and they took it.
I appreciate Warren. See you later, bro.
Yeah, it was only a matter of time. You said it yourself, Frankie.
Love videos, thing, Chris.
Doesn't matter. Game
we need a
2,
YouTube stream, bro. I'm live on YouTube and Twitch. What do you mean?
Zone, waiting for that half and half pull. Unfortunately, it went to the complete opposite side. But this game, they said, you know what? We're not even gonna try and predict
Sorry,
it.
just saw something on my window.
Came through. They walked themselves right into that zone, built up. Not a single trio
FNAF
contested them, and then at that point, they had high ground.
Security Breach is better than Granny, but like average FNAF game versus Granny, I'd prefer Granny. FNAF is just too hard, man. Like I love FNAF stuff, but it's actually just too sweaty. I suck at it. I mean, that's literally the only reason. Crazy, bro.
Yeah, if you're
Are you gonna watch the Pro-Am? 100%.
That is just what they showed.
If I can, that is.
And you
I
mentioned
don't
some of the
know.
different teams trying to take height from them, right? There was
I don't know what's gonna be
you know,
happening in my life on May 10th, but if I got time for it, 100%.
You know, we have the lovely
if they're broadcasting,
drone shot that we
100%.
watch here on our broadcast, so we can see it all clearly. And I was commenting, I was like, "Yep, look, Glub Shoe team's right there. They got to be careful. Those guys look stacked." And they would have been more aware of it than I ever was. And I have a drone view to see it, right? So you know, they handled that really well. When those guys start to build up, they
they play that
them
well.
out the lobby.
How many FNCS have just made it look? I think like 2,
so
right?
easy, as they always seem to do from high.
I'm pretty sure he's a 2-time champ. He's crazy.
Ground King Queasy.
They're good trio.
Always know who is below you.
Queasy has what, $1 million in earnings too. Like they got it, man.
Take a short break. When we come back, we'll be talking more about Game 3.
That does make me nervous. Nah, he's good. He's good. Yeah, I'm gonna play some Infinite Box Fights real quick. I don't do any sus stuff, by the way, chat, because every time I play Infinite Box Fight, something sus happens. Anyway, more HaloBT is my creator tag. If you guys want to follow me on Fortnite, you just hit this big favorite button right here. And then we're going to play some Infinite Box Fights. Map codes on screen, 4981-4426-6816. Feel free to take a screenshot. Bang. Bang. I'm gonna join up at a public lobby. Gotta have the FNCS pick on too. Gotta be dripped out. We got like 2 minutes to just get a kill. What group stage? Is group 2, guys. It's in the title. Chat, Infinite Box Fights update later this upcoming week, by the way, man. If there's anything you guys want to see in the update, excuse me, please tell me, because then we'll get it added, okay? Come on, Razor Synapse, load up. I can't walk forward until this loads. Are we serious or no? Come on. Cheats? Brother, this is Razor Synapse. It's for my keyboard. Breezy with the $2. Thank you so much, bro. You got tips to play better on keyboard and mouse? Bro, Infinite Box Fights FFA. Trust me, map code's right down there. It's my pro practice map in Fortnite. Dude, the tourney is gonna start by the time this program opens. Open sesame. Open sesame. Why won't it open? Oh, there it is. There we go. Now I can move. Stop cheating. Bro, it's literally my keybinds, bro. Ay. But yeah, for Infinite Box Fights, I think what we're going to do is we're going to add a leaderboard for the next update. Maybe adjust the rank system a little bit, potentially a rank reset. I want to get some more guns in here, some newer guns. Maybe change up the vault aesthetic a little bit. I want to add potentially some exotics over here, maybe the slap chug. You know, I want to do some cool stuff. But if you guys want to see anything in particular, let me know and we'll get it added, okay? No! Wasn't quick enough. How many earnings do you have? All of them. Razor Cortex and Razor stuff don't in fact work. No, they do work. It just takes a while to load for some reason. At least on my computer. It's really weird. Trying to get a little warmed out here. Yeah, FNCS started. Let me get to the vault. 200.
On the 10th of May, and if you get your tickets, you will also get to rock that Axe of Champions. Yet another reason to go. Levin, I saw your face light up.
I always dreamed of having the original Axe of Champions, and now I will, but not for the right
Let's
reasons.
go. Don't be Levin.
No, it's a very much a right reason. Now let's talk about what went on in Game 3, because there was so much to love there. Not least, Ping really just striving and popping off for his trio, because Malibu, Vbucks and Ping, they have to be in a really great position after that, and they are currently in 8th spot. 11. I actually thought they were going to be higher.
Wait, what's the pickaxe? It's the FNCS gold pickaxe. You guys remember the OG one from Chapter 2?
Yeah, I mean, Ping.
They're releasing that to people that go to the event.
This team at times, understandably,
Hi, chat.
right? You got the
Let me know who dies. I'm going to be back in about 1 minute.
Who gets bigged up
Count
for his
to 50
firepower
seconds,
and
okay? I'm going to grab some water.
time.
If anyone dies, you gotta tell me though. I need all the details, okay? I'll be right back. 50 seconds. Go.
Yeah, I believe it was Tidy and his trio that tried going aggro against them leading up to this end game, and then Ping Walks were like, yeah, we're not gonna let that one slide. They pushed them right back, picked up all 3 eliminations, and as you see, as this late game continued on, they just kept fragging out. They ended with like a total of 11 eliminations, but like you were alluding to, Frankie, why aren't they that much higher? I mean, the previous match, they ended up going down in 19th, so they did get this big pop-off match, but previously, they're kind of missing out on that consistency. But, you know, there's kind of that fire they needed to continue pushing on forwards.
Well, Combat, Blacker, and Mixon, I think they've been really consistent if you want to talk about consistent trios who also are fragging, because Levin, they were also a team that was really challenging those lower layers in that game.
Yeah, no, I think they've clocked the lobby. Right? They just seem to be there every single game. They have it figured out. They have it laid out to get to end games consistently. And sort of like I mentioned the last time we talked about them, in these end games, they are just so great at just being on the same time. Look at them, they all stood on the same cone nearabouts, right? Like, they are always glued together. And when you are, you know, this is just basic Fortnite fundamentals. Like, when you are so glued together in end games, it's gonna be hard for you to not be successful in these type of lobbies.
Yeah, I mean, they literally got 3rd place every single match today, Levin. Every single match they've got in 3rd place alongside a good amount of eliminations. I mean, they're playing just like Cammy and Seti, but getting more eliminations and better placement. And you can see that on the leaderboard. I mean, if you take out the 3 trios that already qualified from that victory royale, 1st place, Comeback, Baja, Mixon. 2nd place, Cammy, Cherry, and Seti. I mean, they are incredibly consistent.
I love the fact that Seti, Cammy, and Chariot are just playing to type right now. I love that Cammy's always the one left and always sneaking further and further into the top 10, 11.
Yeah, and this is another example of where, like, they are just so close, right? I love this play here, right, to sort of go in on this team. You saw Charlie was just holding onto the wall, right, ready for his teammates to come through and replace it for him. I mean, the cohesion on this team is just almost next to none at times. Again, so close. How many times are they gonna just be there, you know, just almost there, and it not quite go their way towards the end? They just ran out a bit of gas. And like Taco, I almost said Takata there, I'm almost like you, Frankie. Like Taco rightfully mentioned, you know, a bit more heal off, and you know, maybe Cammy can just get it done, but you know, there just wasn't enough left there.
Let's go way back in time now, it feels like, to the mid-game of game number 3, because Venno was sadly left on his lonesome, but you know what? He put on a show to Car. This 1v3 was everything.
Yes, he did. You can see Vico got absolutely beamed out of the sky, floating in the air, touched the ground on his knees. Flixie also fell shortly after, and Veno was kind of left in that tough situation, the 1 versus 3. But I mean, you should have seen us reacting to this fight. He was a sliver away from getting the job done, got the initial knock, put a good amount of damage on the remaining 2 players, but in the end wasn't able to clean it up and got eliminated. But I mean, Veno is still leading in eliminations compared to every other player in the lobby. Veno has the most eliminations, so it's only a matter of time before they get a bigger match.
Are they going to win the next Victory Royale, especially as Queasy's now out of the lobby 11?
I mean, you definitely would say that their chances have gone up more and more. I think the tough thing is, like, they're just having some of these mid games where, like, you know, zone pool's a bit far and they do seem to struggle here. So, you know, hopefully the zones are favorable to them.
Well, we've got 2 more games of Group 2, so let's see who's going to be taking the next spot in next weekend's major finals. Taco and Miniminer, take it away.
Thank you so much, Frankie. This is where things really start to get real. We have 2 more games remaining. Crunch time for a lot of our teams here as well. Because now, Taco, you might be looking at a team.
I did not get full box. Everything's fine.
Have any chance at making
My
the
teammates
major
rebooted me. We're good.
Right, and shamelessly, I think a lot of people know where I might have stood as far as watching the games take place today. But Game 4 is still on the horizon. Game 5 shortly after that. And for teams outside of that top 10, they're going to look to try and crack their way through.
Crucial moments for everyone at any stage of the leaderboard. A big question I want to ask.
Game 4 out of 5, bro.
At Seaport City,
That'd be a great time to qual, you know?
Likely to be Monzy.
You're gonna have a lot of pressure on you.
That trio, because of course
you're 3 days late.
They have that experience.
Long.
I think they might have even said that's what's gonna happen when Queasy gets a win. So they were almost.
It wasn't that bad,
That's what
come
they
on
ended
now.
up doing. We'll get to have a little look at that in just a moment. And these are some of the fights that we saw earlier that are now starting to dwindle and fizzle out, because some of the teams that were contesting Taco, they've sort of moved. They've decided, okay, there's a bit more opening now, or a bit more of an opening in certain different areas. So for Tex and Faded and Bendy, we saw them in that big fight against Veno, Vico, and Flixie, which you'd have to say came out on top of. Hopefully brimming with confidence now, and having an uncontested drop spot to boot, hopefully they'll be able to find a little bit more success now in that later stage of the game.
They're not the only ones that are going to need confidence. Continuing through, Particle and Kire. A little bit of a sticky spot here with Hardfine's trio. And Particle knows there's at least 1, maybe 2 players close by. He's going to try to wrap around, see if he can catch an off angle. Instead, Particle, he doesn't get the knock he needs. He'll find himself being turned upon. Still, this might go in favor of his trio, and it's only 1 surviving member currently, as Aspas will manage to put the double revive off onto Haruko, but this is a very difficult position now, because the last thing you want is to bank everything on that Game 5 performance.
Yeah, really
Those
difficult.
off-spawn fights, especially at that POI, are very risky.
Saw Bevies actually say that he was going to go to Seaport just now on social.
I still gotta memorize the POI names. I don't have like half the map memorized yet. It's actually bad.
As Ewik is down, Anzan is also just.
When's the live event? I don't know. We've been getting a lot of leaks for it, but I don't think we have an exact time leak yet. Dang!
Come on through. Beautiful shots there from Bevies using the infiltrator, the sniper shotgun in a way when you have that level of aim.
Did I just witness a great infiltrator pump doing max damage by like 3 boxes away?
Fight from those guys. You can see them already just building up, making sure there's not going to be any third parties. That's what would have been their downfall. Even not just them, but from other teams.
That did some damage, bro. Hello?
Third party that's coming on through, but look at this.
This is probably going to be Veno's game, to be honest. Oh, look at that pickaxe.
Trying to fight the team.
Oh, man, that looks good.
This is where this team will thrive.
Low key, hear me out.
To get up on top of that hill. We can
they
see
should take
another angle as well.
The FNCS pickaxe that they sold in the item shop.
Vico's still
take that pickaxe,
find his way in
and literally just make it gold.
Just looking for more
hear me
angles.
out. The gold looks so much better than the silver. I'm sorry, especially as a trophy, bro. When you think of a trophy, you think of a gold trophy, not a silver trophy. Same thing with the pickaxe. Pickaxe should be gold. It looks way better gold. But the old design doesn't look as good as the new design, at least in my opinion. I'm not talking about the purple ugly staff. I'm talking about the one that was sold in the item shop.
Looking for a little more damage. They were forced into that fight where Veno had to hit that 1v3 clutch, and of course it didn't work out in the end. So maybe there's a little
Halo's
bit more
jealous. It does look really good.
Getting Storm Surge down.
It's gonna come time stop
work
though.
in their favor.
I'll get it eventually.
I mean,
but I would like to get it early though, ideally, so I can get some content on.
They're so comfortable with how many points they've been able to build in the first place on the leaderboard. It doesn't even necessarily matter to them. Sure, it'd be nice to find that Victory Royale that I think a lot of people are kind of anticipating to take place inevitably, but even if they don't get it, they are just sitting so lavish in comparison to a lot of these other teams, and Vbucks,
yeah, they're chilling.
Certainly wishing that they could find some kind of conclusion, but Veno and Flixi, they are just not letting up, just consistently peppering, consistently spraying. Vico, he's finally decided to join the mix and almost immediately catches an elimination for it. Make that 2, as Seke is gonna be next up to bat here is Vico, Veno, and Flixi. They certainly do not lack by any means in the fragging department, but probably just having fun with it, it seems like.
Yeah, Vico got all 3 there as well, and he was late. So he's turned up late and got all of the credit for those.
Going to all the kills, right?
Which I'm sure he'll be very happy with, but now they've got this entire drop spots himself, and this is exactly how he went about getting those knocks. There was a beautiful one through the window, that left-hand peak. Vbucks had nowhere to go, so he only had to go into
Hi, hello,
Vico.
some Dino. How you doing, bro? I was just watching your space until I find a pro player vid. Nice, thank you, bro.
A trio with the
Appreciate that,
ability of Vico, Veno, and Flixi is never going to go well. So for them, they have a nice extension to their
warning, blue team leaders coming to the item shop. We don't know if the players that had it rare are going to get a new style or not.
See what they do. Of course,
wait, the blue team leader as in the PlayStation Plus skin? The OG one?
A little bit of a
I love this skin, bro.
spot, maybe.
I totally rock that.
And this is a trio that have been coached today by seemingly everyone.
Yeah, this girl.
Chicks, Malibuca, sorry,
yeah,
Artist,
I wish I had this skin, bro. It's so clean. Wait, so this one's coming to the item shop?
Lots of people inside of the...
Who leaked it?
Call there, but...
I need a source.
Not.
Source?
Early on.
Source?
Which gets them a nice elimination. And this is a team that are able to make the most of that damage when it comes to Storm Surge. They're going to be able to box up inside of those big bases that we saw them do. And find a little bit more consistency. I think for them, it's just more of the same, really, Taco. I don't think they're necessarily looking to poise for a victory. I think it's just, you know, like the other polls in the lobby. Did
they tweet it recently?
Simply just keep doing what we're doing, make those end games, and they can call off this game if they have a solid end game.
Yeah, they really haven't done anything wrong. Everything has, for the most part, gone favorably enough that
not seeing anything.
Consistently finding themselves inside of those.
I'm scrolling back to the
3,
beginning of April here. I'm still not seeing any
exactly
tweets.
Where you want to be. If you don't confirm the Victory Royale, still being able to get that consistency placement off the leaderboard is always a nice touch. And it's also, consistency is definitely something that they're after.
I feel like you're capping to me right now, bro.
Major 1 panned out for them.
I'm not seeing a single tweet anywhere from anyone.
Uncontested, if they, you know, confirm themselves for the Major 2 finals, but they are definitely not the only ones mixing.
Y'all got me on a wild goose chase here. I don't know about this.
Cranky.
So Fire Monkey tweeted a couple days ago.
Very difficult position. He is entirely too split from the rest of his
team. Bro is 0 ping in an FNCS tournament right now. Oh my gosh.
Elimination. It's not going to take them much time at all. Poor Cranky.
Dang.
Just one step too far behind the rest of his trio. Absolutely nowhere left to run.
Ooh. The FNCS Hunter backbling is now available via Twitch drops.
Is unmatched because they've pretty much already qualified. I think it was 207 points going into this last game. So, to be honest, for this trio, they don't have anything to lose whatsoever. I think it was just over.
Is this actually available right now?
I think it was 204.
I'll put drops in the title real quick. Hold on.
Our teams into the Major 2 finals.
Hold on, wait. Let me look. Hold on.
Group 2, if anything,
drops
is similar.
Yeah, I do have drops on.
Not to mention that they don't have to worry about that team at C4 because Queasy, Swizzy, and Murstache, they're already out. They're already
I don't think it's available yet.
Finals, and we know that Comic Behind Mixon aren't too far behind, but this might as well be a victory
looks sick, though.
Here. It's Combic helping to confirm yet another elimination for this trio. Could be part of the reason, though, why we see them going on.
Yeah, I'm not seeing anything about that blue team leader skin, though, guys. I'm pretty sure you're lying to me.
Exchange with Seaport instead. They're gonna have to find that surge elsewhere. Love the fact that they're being proactive with it, though.
Yeah, I'm feeling some cap here, bro.
And Bevy's
L line
early getting knocked though. Abdul gets tagged, so he's going to have to heal up after getting that initial finish and knock. And for Buzz, he's also going to try and get a heal off here as well, as
the drops should be active. Yeah, I have the drops on. I just don't know if the drops are active as of right now. But regardless, I got the drops on. So if it magically turns on in a couple of minutes, you'll start getting it.
Fights that just aren't going in their favor. It's
rage baited. That's not what rage bait me. Oh my god.
Previously, of teams coming out of that Kappa factory, just not able to then.
I don't know if you guys are even trolling when you do that either. I really don't.
In the mid game, and that's just sort of the story of the day for this trio, and big moments for them, of course, in this game, because they're just sort of outside that top 5 inconsistency. So if that's the way they need to go about qualifying, they need to make this game count. But for Abdul and YZY and Buzz, they're just looking to try and spoil their party up in the top end of the league.
The mental toll, though, that's probably starting to unfold here for Vbucks, Della, and Axforce, because if it's not one thing, it's just another. Every single trio
wait, that thing kind of beams, though.
Swarming their position, no matter how many Ospawn fights they win. And Axforce,
actually not a bad item.
Sadly, find his life come to an end here. Buzz, Abdul, YZY, all just trying to encroach upon where Della is currently boxed up at. But Della, they'll look to delay for as long as possible, possibly hoping for some form of a third-party exchange to maybe bail him out of this position.
That was a flick and a half right there. Oh my gosh.
Into his favor entirely. Della's still in control of a little bit of the high ground, but with Abdul now making the approach
that's a free kill.
From a separate angle.
Just gotta keep the pressure going.
Too much firepower. And Della just doesn't have the HP to work with here.
Imagine he 1v3s them.
Something more promising. A full trio just playing it safe. Until they know for sure they can confirm it. And Della, sure enough, wiped yet
Exit 8 was so good last night. Yeah. No kidding, bro.
Be their demise.
No kidding. That was a fire game.
Just an ideal situation for them. Now
bro, you missed the biggest dono? No, I saw, I guess. On YouTube, if someone donos, like that happened like half an hour ago. If someone donos, it remains on the screen for X amount of time, depending on how big the dono was. So if you donated $500, for an example, it's gonna stay on screen for like 3 or 4 hours straight.
It's Blaha and Combat, and albeit Combat going down, they do take out Abdul. So now it's all up to Buzz and YZY. But of all the teams in the lobby that you don't want to fight,
I didn't miss it. Don't worry.
Not only because of how good they are, but of course the amount of freedom they have right now. They could be just sitting back, relaxing, and enjoying themselves in this lobby, which is seemingly what they're doing.
Don't think there's anything much worse, though, than watching this tactical strike force land right on top of you. Blaha, Mixon, and Combeg. They were definitely the embodiment of just making sure that if you're going to be aggressive, be quick about it. Don't allow the opportunity for a third party to come into play. And Abdul, while he did manage to knock Combeg initially, you can see it didn't necessarily bode super well for the rest of his team, and YZY chased out by Blaha. Mixing Combeg and Blaha just continuing to
not on this setup, no.
one collect as many eliminations
I'm not
as
planning on doing one. I could, but chat, like I said, the setup is slapped together, man. I mean, it's not great.
100%. It's a bit of a disastrous situation for Abdul, Buzz, and YZY, because they're a team that were in second last going into this game. So that was almost a perfect start to their penultimate game, getting their Storm Surge done early in that fight against Axforce, Stella, and Bevies. It was a perfect start for them. And they probably think, you're right, this is great. We're going to be on the up here, and then who comes sweeping?
When's the other room going to be finished? Most likely in May.
But for Freddoxy,
sometime in May.
Wingu, and Chino, we've seen a little bit of them throughout the day. It hasn't been amazing, and likewise,
why do we have a son?
Outside of that consistency,
I don't know, man.
Threshold, so every move they make is just so important.
You guys are like pondering life in my Twitch chat right now. Like, what are we doing, bro?
2 finals. Just in their 13th place. 81 points, which is not enough, but they're going to need a solid game here to move up in the standings. It's just a team with so much experience, Taka, that it would be strange for them not to be in the Major 2 finals, albeit since we had, of course, Freddoxy not make Major 1 finals. It wouldn't be that shocking, I suppose, but it would be a little bit of a surprise, I guess you could say.
Freddoxy definitely just trying to prove that he is a contender CZB, Eclipse, and Nathan, they also find themselves on a similar note. They will manage to collect an elimination, and they need every single point they can get. That quick flashing of the leaderboard showcasing that they are also just outside of that consistency threshold. And the last thing that they want is to have
to watch the FNCS channel when the program happens. Yeah, I'm planning on it. I'm planning on it. That's gonna be fire.
3 games to work with in that kind of
Why do we have plans? Okay, I'm done being chat. Y'all are doing too much, man.
It's just so emotionally jarring.
Bro.
A lot of teams want to try and avoid that at all costs. But Eclipse, CZV, Nathan, gotta be careful. They don't want to overexpose.
Why is it called a butterfly when it doesn't have any butter on it? Okay, to be fair though,
a lot of our teams today,
you got a good point.
Professional
that is a good point.
It seems like.
Yeah, a lot of these mid-game fights.
I feel clickbaited. Why does a butterfly not have butter on it?
Heals in the game, getting that early damage for teams. They can sort of sit back. We saw that with Fred Oxy, just quite happy to sit inside of the storm, particularly when they do have that vault in their area. And for some other teams that do have that on their loot path, they can just come in and sort of scrap loot. For a team like Vico, Veno, Flixi, though, they're quite happy.
Yeah, these guys are probably going to win the game, bro. I'm going to be honest.
With all the loot that they have. And potentially find another fight. But it was that
bunch of the other teams that
3 eliminations from
were
Vico,
like their biggest threats are now out.
For success for the rest of this game. And
they're chilling.
Again, I think it's a team that we, these guys should be making it to
King, yes, I saw, bro. I saw. That happened like almost an hour ago,
and
man.
I don't see a way that they don't. But there's always, I suppose anything could happen. The attacker, they still need about 60 odd points, so still not said and done yet for this trio.
Would take a really strong performance from multiple teams in the lobby, and that's something that Mix and Blaha and Comic are trying to shut down some of these stragglers. Buzz looked like he'd been running a marathon essentially for how long he'd been trying to escape from Comic, Blaha, and Mixin. Fortunately, only so far left to run when you're getting chased to the absolute outskirts. Jewel, Tidy, and Sangil. Brutal boxcars. And they're just kind of waiting. Trying to maybe scope out if there's going to be teams that they can look to try and cut off. But Jewel knows Surge Base directly behind their current position. Want to try and poke some mod shots here and there. Maybe try to dissuade them from focusing you. I like this, though, from Tidy. Just trying to build as many fish as possible. Spend as much time as possible fishing. And this is something that I think Seti and Cammy definitely like to take advantage of early on from this split drop here at Brutal Boxcars. But knowing that there are other teams looking to play out the same game plan.
This is my play.
Gotta kind of approach.
I mean, the fish aren't as OP this season as they were last season, but it's still a decent meta.
Wox, Ping, and Malabuka, team that are.
Where's Peterbot? Brother, this is Europe. What do you mean?
Right now, not as solidified as some of our other teams. But
ain't no way, bro.
They're a team that do have what it takes.
Are you watching cheaters? No.
We've already
These
seen
players
how
are all
treacherous
legit. At least I'd hope so.
lobby has been to
I mean, yeah, you never know. There might be one kid in this lobby who's secretly
get a win for now,
doing a little something. You never know, but
could this be
all the kids in this lobby are pros.
Strategies early on. We've seen them lurking. We've seen them having a couple of situations where maybe teams are third party and they've had to really be reactive to what the rest of the lobby are doing so far today.
It's just very
very well. But Vico, Veno, Flixi, they're continuing their push through this lobby. Going to pick up their
they're just keying everybody, bro. They don't even care.
There goes Vexy. And they're able to just play so deep
5 kills already.
Again, they don't need that Storm Surge damage. They set themselves up nicely previously, and then surely they're going to find Kaisers right now. And they are. It's a really nice elimination, a really nice clean up of that trio. So 6 so far. They're going to make their way in now, though. And they're just on a tear at the moment through this lobby. And it's just the speed at which that fight was able to be finished at, which is really important for that team.
Almost anticipating that Veno, Vico, and Flixi are going to fight yet again. Zara's team closing up behind them, but Vico, Veno, Flixi, it's just so concise the way that they actually tackle some of these fights. That do such an excellent job at just forcing
chill with the
to kind of look multiple directions at once, but you can only
life thinking, please. Holy cow.
So much as
she's doing too much here. I can't even read anything.
The way that they managed to
yo, Saturn with the prime sub. Thank you so much, Saturn. Appreciate that, man.
Impressive.
We're at 262 subs now. Thank you, bro.
They might have a whole whole different kind of problem because despite everything, they find themselves still
I find the
rather deep
baseball bat
inside the
rotate
storm.
strategy where you hit your
Zaggy,
teammates kind of
Zada,
funny. I don't know.
right
It's just
behind
such a random meta, bro.
They're trying to
But it's like
definitely
actually a viable
their
strat
heads
to get your
down
teammate
low.
in front.
throwing shots out where they can. But 1200 above, Mini. There's no real reason for Vico, Veno, and Flixie to take on a fight. At this point, they can just focus exclusively on getting their positioning established.
Yeah, the position is pretty good there as well. They got onto that dead side of zone. You can see the zone just pulling all the way back to where they are now. But unfortunately for them, the next zone pulls a little bit further. They should have a nice, simple rotation along this sort of dead side, but didn't quite work out in their favor before. I did see Wox. Yeah, Wox down in the feed. So HaloBT and Ping are left as a duo. Really difficult situation for this team. I mean, we could be in a situation here, Taco, going into the last game where if these guys fall, they need a win to qualify on through. So every single move that HaloBT and Ping make right now is going to be that much more important. Still need around sort of 80 points-ish in order to qualify through. And you can see that they're capable of doing it. The average eliminations per final game is the highest in EU per final. So it does seem like they just have what it takes, and we know it. They have what it takes in these sort of lobbies to find eliminations, find the damage.
Yeah, they're chilling. This is a good
that's
rotate.
required. So I wouldn't
They're
count
gonna
them
get tagged
out
a few
yet,
times, but overall
looking
chilling.
a little bit bleak going into this end game, being only a duo here.
FNCS, yeah, this is FNCS. It's going on right now. It's live.
The last couple of weeks of the Div 1 finals, they seemingly lost their identity as a trio. They've kind of been going through an array of, I don't want to say dysfunction, but it's definitely been much more disastrous than what you would hope for. And Chino, Fordoxia, and Pablo, they might find themselves along a similar note. I mean, you've seen the highs, you've seen the lows with this trio just formed, but HaloBT doing what he can to try and
10
scrape
builds,
by.
bro. Oh, gosh.
He's just running
Mythic
in
pump, but no
to
mats.
one hurdle after the next, though.
Terrible situation to be in.
Loki, not going to take a
Is this
second
NA or
to look
EU?
back,
Guys,
though,
it's in the
so
title,
HaloBT
man.
will manage
Just
to
look at the title,
restore
bro.
just a little bit of his shield, but
EU Group 2, you know, all
HaloBT,
that.
he needs a refresh, and he needs it now. He needs mats more than anything. Doesn't have any builds
Kills
to
for
work with.
consistency?
The
Yeah,
moment
of course,
that
of course.
He shows himself inside his zone and got picked off. Ping, though, going huge for this duo. Voltiax and
Wait, the
Siren.
double pump action?
That's
Hold
gonna
on.
be the lifeline
Let him cook, bro.
extension that they needed. As HaloBT and Ping can now move a little bit more confidently into the next zone.
What's this weird bug
Their
going on?
materials now, they're just building so much metal.
Oh,
There's
it's-
such a force now in this lobby. They
Oh,
have
man.
all of that
Some replay.
material that they've been able to get.
Replay stuff.
The team below them and the team above them, though, it's Glubshy, Grippe, and Frax that are just trying to knock on their door. The big problem for this team right now, albeit having a lot of materials, no shield. So they're struggling to, they're going to struggle to try and find those
Yeah,
knocks,
stacked
those
on
refreshes,
guns,
those shields,
but
because
not
they don't have the
heals.
shields
That's a bad
initially
situation to be in.
take those fights. Let's have another look at what Ping just did right
hard to
here.
get a kill with
really
that.
nicely done, and this is exactly what you want out of your fraggers. You want people that are going to be able to just hop inside of the box, hit those big damage shots, not whiff in these moments, which Ping didn't. He hit that first shot beautifully. HaloBT there to close.
That's
on
why you
him
gotta
as
aim
well, and
train,
that's
bro.
what got
Infinite
them
box
back
fights,
into
chat.
refresh.
That's what's up.
And it's the calmness, it's the experience,
Aiming's everything in
it's
these
the
tournaments.
ability to
You hit that
stay
shot, you win.
cool in these situations where things look to be going against you is what separates the good teams from the great teams.
Keep an eye, though, on Cammy, just consistently gazing up at the high ground, taking notice of who's actually trying to control it. But the moment
my
that
gosh,
he
man.
looks back, HaloBT just
Keep yawning, bro.
continuing to
I
remain
might
a
need more
focal
caffeine,
point
man.
for some
I
of
don't
our
know.
healthier looking teams in the lobby. He will manage to reunite.
Gotta make sure I'm
with
sleeping a good
Ping,
amount tonight.
but this might actually end up working against them. Cammy and Seti, while it looked like they wanted an opportunity there to get a little bit more aggressive.
What region is Peter on? Peter's on NA.
Entire situation, HaloBT
This is zero.
in. It's got to be very.
Have you played the no
concise,
reload map
though,
yet?
with
Not
these
yet.
mythic pumps.
Still haven't played any
Says, well, we
reload.
got one
I don't know the
shot to
meta.
make it
I haven't
happen
played
as far
ranked
as the
yet.
refresh
None of
is
that.
concerned.
All weapons that you can. 200 people with that mythic pump can do it. So one big shot can turn their entire season around. It's Pablo Wingu, Fordoxia, and Chino. This is a team
Dang,
that
he's in the
spoke about
shots with
needing
that
a
thing.
solid game here, and they might get
Nah, I
more
gotta
than that as
say,
they're building
Twin
up
Mag
on
AR
hype.
is definitely the
Claiming
best
his
AR in the
position
meta
just
right
outside
now.
of Seaport City, way above the storm surge threshold
100%,
as well.
you just
so
fry with that
position The elevated position above the rest of the lobby is looking really strong for them right now. I just sort of ping there.
I like using the burst the most,
and we
though.
can see what HaloBT has to do, and this is what we spoke about. The problem that they have is they haven't got the health to get these eliminations, to get these knocks, and HaloBT only has 6 bills. He doesn't have the mobility item of choice either, of preference, you could say. And he's just going to have to try and make his way and try and make anything happen. He gets it.
Fantastic
this
play.
Is a perfect shot for him. Can he get that refresh? He gets the materials. It's a decent amount to keep him going in this game. The Siphon's going to retain a little bit of that white HP as well, but everyone else is looking at it. And unfortunately, it's too little too late for HaloBT. A big lost game for them.
Just nowhere left to run. All the while, high ground continuing to spray these lower layers.
You're going to watch WrestleMania?
Also, the lone standing member from this trio, but they have definitely been getting
y'all are just typing stuff, man.
in this end game. 8 eliminations already. Vico still looking to see if he can clutch up yet another one. Tex right next to him. But Vico, he's waiting for the perfect pounce to strike. Tex, though, going to get the first jump instead. And Vico,
dude, Venom might have to qual off consistency, man.
Down here, CZB.
They only got one game left where they're going to be able to win it.
Instead, he's going to opt to play the Chug Jug.
I mean, it's not a big deal. If you qual, you qual, you know? But I really figured they were going to win earlier.
Placement points.
Yeah, remember that's a team that are just outside of that sort of top 5.
Might not be their day today, you know?
Really big moments for him right there.
They're definitely going to get it in grands, though. They're going to cook, man.
I think it's a team that did end up landing Seaport, so a really nice position for them to be in. All 3 of them still alive as well. Materials are looking weak, but look who's on high. Look who's overtaken. It's Glubshy, it's Gribey, and it's Brax all the way up there for Oxy and company.
Well, they're going for it.
Got a chance to hold on to that high ground, and could this be the moment for this team? Now just down to a team all the way up on high, looking all the way down, just keeping on trying to apply as much pressure as possible, still alive as a trio, which is so important for them in these moments, just continuing to apply pressure down, and they have materials to tackle, so this could be their time.
Alex, Mumsy, and Skyjump, though, they're hoping to kind of break their mark through instead.
Yo, love with the Epic Gamer membership! Thank you, love. Shout out to you, bro. Appreciate that. Thank you. W new member. Thank you. I have so many members today on YouTube, guys. Thank you, bro. Really appreciate all the love. Super grateful, man. Thank you.
They are looking to just break down everybody that's kind of struggling in last minute behind them.
Yeah, low-key, I think Height Team wins again, bro. It really is just Height wins games. It's the meta right now. These guys are chilling up here.
They have to find these conclusive shots, and they need it now, but Gripe, Prax, Glubshy, they don't want to let this opportunity slip by. They want to be the ones to confirm the victory.
Wow, free win, bro.
The last hopes here left standing has unfortunately
no way he 1v3s.
Comeback in a 1 versus 3 situation, and it's just too
much to handle. Well played. Gotta get height and you qual. Easy as that.
Guaranteed into the Major 2 finals with a Game 4 victory royale.
Absolutely huge game from that team. They needed it as well.
Alright, now we're going to the last match, bro.
Into that game.
Last chance for a lot of these players to qualify. Although, they do still have the last chance qualifier, right? If they don't qual today. But that stuff is really hard to qual for, bro. You gotta be like top 2 in this tournament.
They'll be seeing themselves in the Major 2 finals. Super excited to see what they can do in that.
Some of these other teams, though, might be getting a little bit nervous here, Minnie, because we only have 1 lobby left to work with, and there are a lot of teams that find themselves sitting just outside of this consistent threshold. But the way that Prax, Gripe, and Glubshy just made sure to stay so tightly knit, they knew that these lower layers were just too heavily collapsed on each other.
Yeah, I mean, Comeback, Blaho, and Mixon, they're greedy. They're already qualified. They don't even need the win. So for them, I'm sure they'll be happy
with
get
that aura, you know?
Continuing their momentum in the day. But there's still so many teams that are yet to qualify through. So many big names as well. I want to see the leaderboard, frankly.
I'm streaming on YouTube. I'm streaming on YouTube and Twitch right now.
I want to see the leaderboard too.
Did you beat the horror game from yesterday? Yes. It'll be posted as a YouTube video this week on HaloBT Games. Actually, let me check again when we're posting that bad parenting video.
Because as Mini Miner was saying, this is a win they definitely needed. They were not looking comfortable on the leaderboard before they went into this game. So I guess congratulations are in order.
Absolutely. Absolutely. I mean,
when you watch Game
3 and they tried
Yo, Gaming Tad with the $2. Thank you so much, man. Can you add me? I'm sorry, man. I can't add. I don't do pay to play or pay to add. But we do play customs occasionally on my streams for free. You can just join them whenever I'm doing them. So if you're ever on when I'm doing customs, definitely join up. But I really appreciate you. Thank you so much, Gaming Tad with the 2. W Gaming Tad.
Rewards of that. Excellently done.
Sorry, I'm checking something real quick. I want to see one more post on YouTube.
You just gotta keep on trying. You said it yourself, Levin. Queasy shut them down in like half a second, but this time around they successfully took it and even took down who was the most consistent
waiting on the
trio
thumbnail
throughout the day.
still.
Blaha, Mixon, and Comeback, who've gotten third and second. So now seeing the Glubshy Prax and Grip A.
Yeah, we'll probably get it out in the next like hour.
Needing it more than the trio that got second place. I mean, congrats to them. I'm excited to see how this last match now is going to pan out.
And I'm really excited for the Major 2 finals because the names that are going through are making me very excited indeed. We'll be talking about more of the names from Group 2, though, after this short break.
Yeah, so we just posted a reacts video though, chat. We posted it 16 minutes ago. So we got a new reacts video out, and then we're gonna have a HaloBT Games video out probably within the next hour once we get the thumbnail. Holy cow, bro. Oh my gosh. That's a thick number. Bro, just say imposter? I gotta mute that. What is going on? What? What are you doing? What are you doing? Bro's wearing my same combo. What's up? Oh wait, I can't emo. I forgot we had to disable that. We chilling, bro. At least they're not doing party apps. Yeah, right? Oh man, that would have me worried. Alright, wait, how long do we have? We have a minute. Okay, I will crank for literally uno minute. Are we cranking? $200. My aim's really bad enough. Still gotta warm up, you know. 200. Hey, it's been uno a minute, has it? I don't think it has. Yeah. We're getting team done. Alright, back in the corner.
Standing on the precipice between making the finals and not to cast.
Let's get chat. Last match of Europe, bro.
Because the elims
and then we got NA later today, bro.
I expected them to be a shoo-in, but there's been a couple of games, I guess, where they haven't quite made it to the end of the end game.
And it's happening at 4 p.m., right?
Considering this next match is that last
we got some break action in between.
I have my eyes kind of on that lower half of the leaderboard. 8th place for Vbucks and HaloBT, and it was close as well.
Let's be real, Wisely, he kind of cracked though.
Went down
he used to be a pro.
Late game, but I think he just got back-to-back eliminations.
He wasn't like a tier 1 pro. I think I would consider him tier 3 at least. He did have some earnings. He won some cash and some solo cash cups. He played with pros for quite a while before he like kind of retired from the Ford community.
I think a lot of
yeah,
maybe would have
cool,
wanted or expected them to be a bit more comfortable in their position here. You know, I'm sure.
What are you doing this stream? Mainly just watching FNCS.
Won a game by now,
for the most part.
And look, there's sat in sort of the pole position to hold on as long as they have a good
event was delayed
game here. But things just haven't quite worked out for them at times in these games. A bit unfortunate, a bit unlucky in certain moments that have cost them. But do I believe they'll get the job done? Yes, I do.
What is the conversation this trio is happening right now, Levin?
Ooh.
Is Savage in this group or not?
Well,
I have no idea. I don't think so.
Like, it could be anything. But I think a lot of it will be centered around just making sure they sort of just do the same things they have been doing, right? You know, the games haven't been as maybe emphatic as we're used to, but with Vico's clutch last game, hopefully that momentum sort of pushes them on to get this last game done.
Yeah, I mean, I can't imagine a major finals without this trio, so fingers crossed for them. Let's talk about Mixon's trio, because this has been the most consistent trio of the night, and the numbers they're putting up are absolutely insane, Levin.
I mean, if I'm being honest, I sort of, you know, was looking at them in that last game, and Minnie sort of mentioned it, right? Like, these guys are already qual for the most part. And I sort of was looking at what they were playing, I was like, surely they're not going to just go win the game. Like, that's so greedy from them, man. Like, how greedy. But look, this is a team who, I mean, have performed as perfectly as you can in terms of a consistency team in this sort of format, right? They have been unwavering. They have been so prolific.
Final stage of the event is tonight with the Star Wars event.
Now be putting themselves
do you know what time that is?
Radars going into the major finals next weekend.
Yeah, I mean, I'm thinking the opposite.
Are you in the Pro-Am? No, unfortunately, I'm
saying,
never invited for that stuff.
Already,
so.
right? Can they just
I was not invited, and I will be
third, second.
Probably watching it online.
End up coming out on top.
I don't think I'm going to travel to watch it in person.
It's going to bump those players that were below them up a slot. So all the trios on the borderline, the CZB,
I really can't be traveling right now. It's a bad idea. I just moved into a new house.
Cut off of qualifying. Want one of these trios in that top 5 to make it through. So I think, you know, they might end up winning this last match.
I feel like I'm one of those people who's taken this trio for granted, and I'm really excited to see how they perform in that stacked lobby next weekend. Zeti, Cherry, Cami, they're currently 6th. They look like they're pretty comfortable going into this last one, but let's talk about the bottom of that top 10. Tino, Pablo, Wingo, and Frodoxy. This is a trio I definitely haven't really noticed until the last couple of games. Levin, do you think they can hold on to that spot?
Yeah, they've done well to get themselves back in it, right? Because in the first couple of games, they were actually struggling with the
You live by yourself? No, I'm 17, chat.
And
I live with my family.
You know, now they've able to
you should go live for Pro-Am? Yeah, I don't know what my month is going to look like in May. It might be kind of crazy, but if they are hosting it on May 10th, and that doesn't get delayed, and I'm available on May 10th to stream it, I will 100% stream it. If they're posting the online broadcast, which I'm assuming they will.
In this final game.
But yeah, I'd love to watch.
It's a tough one to call, though, right? Because also
Vico
and Flixie aren't like as high up as Blaha, for example. So going down early could, you know, be detrimental to them. But it's all up to this last game and how they decided to play it out.
Let's bring up page 2 of the standings because we want to see the trios that are threatening the first page.
W.
And in terms of names, I have to say Turtle, Kaito, and Hydra, it would be really disappointing for them if they don't make it through because they had such a great start to the night, Takata.
Yeah,
so all of these players got to really lock in here. I mean, you could be dead last right now, win one match, and now you're qualified, you know?
If end up going down to fall, if they were able to stay up, it could have been
This is a pretty big deal.
But now seeing them in 13th place,
if you don't qualify for this event, you have one more attempt. And that's going to be the last chance qualifiers.
You know, there's a lot of teams that look at that can just have big implications.
Pretty much impossible. Right? I mean, it's wicked hard to qualify.
We still have one more group next, right? Tomorrow we got group.
How much ping do you have in the new house? It's worse in my other house. It's worse on Central, and everything else is the same.
Right? Like, you're sort of looking at anyone that lands your spot, and you're thinking, please don't do it in this last game. Just dud the last game. Give me an uncon spot in finals.
It's time for me to put the pressure once more on Takata because earlier you were non-committal when it came to saying which trio would not get a victory royale. So which one is in this last game?
Which one is going to get the victory royale? You know what? I'm going to pick the boring one. I think Comeback, Blaha, and Mixon, they got to just finish it off and get the VR. They've gotten so close every single match. Just
I'm going to say
favor and win.
A boring prediction, but it'll be very exciting if they do make it. Let's head back then one last time for Super Saturday to Taco and Mini Miner.
So close yet so far away for some of those teams sitting just outside that 10th place position on the leaderboard, Mini, and with only one lobby left to go before we determine who our final 10 is for Group 2 heading into the Major 2 finals. A lot on the line here.
So much on the line. A lot of our big teams still yet to qualify, yet to sort of solidify their place in the Major 2 finals. I'm looking at sort of down the leaderboard as well. I want to see these teams that are lower down, maybe sort of bottom 20 in that sort of region. Can we see a big push from one of them now to pick up a victory? Well, that's what's the beauty of this format. We could see a team that we weren't expecting to even be here in the Major 2 finals. We'll find out right here.
Let's get it. Let's get it.
And hey,
didn't say what time the live event, the Star Wars event is at. Hypex said 2 or 3 maybe.
Outside of that threshold, Mini,
2 or 3 Central or East Coast?
A desperate position because you want to qual. You want to make it to the Major 2 finals.
license?
You
No.
want to solidify yourself.
Yo,
as a
what's up?
team
Hold on,
in
bro.
Contention for
Man,
that
these
League of
sweats. Yeah,
Champions.
right.
Things are
Gosh darn
still
sweats, bro.
continuing to be
Gosh darn
as
pros.
annoying as ever, though,
Gosh darn it.
for Haruko's team, fighting things out at Shiny Shafts, but the 50-50 one more time, seemingly going to pan into Aiden, Hardfine, and Michael's favor. Aspes, the only one left standing, and it's not for much longer. Their dreams are now going to depend solely on that
well played,
last
though.
chance qualifier.
Do a
But
stream
this
on
still needs
TikTok?
to
I'm
be
not
a
old enough.
Huge showing.
You
for
can't stream on
Aiden,
TikTok until you're
Hardfine, and
18.
Michael.
Yeah, huge showing needed from
If I
those
went live
guys,
on
and
TikTok right now, I'd get
likewise,
banned.
Maybe not quite as huge, but just a consistent, solid game here for Veno, Vico, and Flixie required. They've already got 3 eliminations, so you can see them already looking pretty bright in this game. Things are looking good. With the way that the team play, you wouldn't put it past them in terms of their experience and their ability to just go ahead and win this last game.
I
and
know
just,
that, yeah. I didn't know that for a long time either, but they keep
Bevies and
upping the
Devin. A
age
little bit of a
limit.
wobble
Like,
here off
it
spawn
was, I think, 16 at one point, and then I
think it
turned
was early
16.
on.
They're like,
Game
hey,
one, I think it was
it's actually
that they
18 now.
went off spawn, but they've grown into the day, they've grown into the games, and they've been able to find themselves
Crazy.
in a decent enough position now. But as we spoke about,
How
in the last
old are
game,
you?
It's all about those sort of mid-game
17.
fights where they've been struggling a little bit. The off-spawn situation has been looking good for them. You can see this Axe Force a little bit further back from his teammates, and Bevy's just
Nice.
easily able to connect with a shot onto Earwig, who have put up a good
Or had
fight.
every
It's
shotgun
not
in the
been
game right there.
completely easy for them, but nicely done.
One loadout, light flex.
Maxi King trying to go for the double revive instead.
Oh, yeah, that
Tim
res
and
was
his
not the play.
Trio, but are looking to be completely eliminated. Sure enough, Sake, Veek, and Adrix will be the surviving members here at Flooded Frogs, but trouble on the horizon, that's for sure. Another trio already looking to roll in. Voltiac, Siren, and Cool. They have been third-party connoisseurs throughout the course of today.
When do you turn 18? October.
The problem for them
I
isn't
don't really plan
necessarily
on streaming on
finding
TikTok, though, chat.
those
I'm gonna be entirely
early
honest.
eliminations. It's more so carrying them over into a successful
I don't know,
mid and end
because
game.
TikTok chat is just
Remember, this
brain
was
rot to
drop
the
spot
max,
of
man.
Flyby.
Like, if I stream on TikTok, I'm telling you guys right now, I will not read the chat.
There's an opportunity.
I'm just saying that
Teams
straight
don't
up. If I
necessarily
ever
know
stream
the
on there,
area landing here.
I might
Maybe
read
teams
like
that don't know
one message every
the
blue
angles at
moon.
which they can get
I'll
shot
read
from.
donos,
You can see
obviously,
Siren
but
Voltiac
I'm
and
not
Cool
going to read
just trying to take advantage of that right now.
99.99%
Looks
of
like they
that
are just gonna
chat
disengage.
if I stream on TikTok.
Adrix Vegan.
Because it is just, it is unbearable. I mean, I've gone on many TikTok live streams to check out like what the Fortnite community is doing on TikTok. And
taking advantage of
it
sort of free drop
is
spot.
terrible. Like your
never
brain
really know
hurts
what you
reading
can
the chat
expect
on
when there is a
TikTok.
team that
It's
qualifies
too
through
much.
and the drop
It's way
spot
too
free.
much, man.
Sometimes nobody goes
So-
there at all, but other times it can be.
Just saying that as a heads up.
contested.
If I ever do.
Siren, Voltiax, and
But
Cool,
yeah, I
they
mean,
need
if you guys want me
a
streaming on
solid
TikTok,
performance
I'm
here
down
as
to stream
well
on
in
there.
this game.
It doesn't take any more effort
Giving
for me. I just
Vestal
hit the
a
go
little
live
bit of
button, you know?
Time in the early game. Still, might not slow them down entirely. Zangi, Rikbor, and Zara. We've seen them have their moments in a handful of these end games, but they want to convert it into a victory royale. They need the points more than ever. A strong
Why is
lobby
grass a
finish
thing? I don't know,
could
bro.
prove to be the difference maker here. Winning it outright, obviously the most ideal circumstance, but it starts with just making sure that you can actually get these early game eliminations. And Elise already haven't been collected. Sabari and Roman just trying to do what they can, buy themselves a little bit of time. That pulse scanner, though, not doing them any favors.
Already not. As Zangi, Ritbor, and Zara, these guys need a big game. They need a solid game if they want to get inside of that top 5 consistency. They probably need almost a win in terms of points anyway. So they need this big performance for Roman and Elise and Spari. These guys, unfortunately, down on the leaderboard. And it might just be a last chance qualifier
Bro just started
situation
charging up
for
the
them,
bat.
and
Oh,
it is
no.
no chance of
Oh
them
my
making it into
gosh.
the top 5. As they're down, they're out.
He's
Gotta
just admitted
reconsider now
defeat.
for that
He's like
LCQ.
charging it. Oh, no, man.
A lot of these
Fears of Fathom's
teams
getting
kind of
episode
just
6 this year,
circling
actually? Wait, actually, let me look that up.
Around whatever they might be able
I've
to
been
find
wondering
for
for a minute.
Doxy,
When
Chino, and
is
Pablo.
Here's to
Doxy doesn't want to see his
6 coming out.
secondary prime.
You already
And he's
know I'm
also
playing that right
kind of
away.
similar to Pablo, where he doesn't want to sit out the major
I
two
mean,
finals. He
I don't
already
know how long it
experienced
takes
that
to
from
make
Major One,
games.
and it's gotta be
I don't
a
want to sound
devastating feeling,
disrespectful,
especially
but
to be this close right
I
now.
can't
Manny.
imagine it would take that
X-Force
long
Della,
for like a Fierce to Fathom
They
type of
also
game,
find
you
themselves
know?
just on the cusp.
Obviously, I have
of
no idea what I'm
elimination
talking
here
about.
If they're not careful,
But
Della, he's gotta win his
it's an
one,
indie
though,
horror game, and they're like
against
mainly
Abdul just continuing
story based.
to
So
crank
I feel
upwards,
like writing the
continuing
lore
to
and like the
maintain
characters
a
and that kind of
steady
stuff that would take some time.
overhead
But in
Some
terms
nice
of like
tags.
getting the graphics, that's probably just Unreal Engine or something, and like props and stuff is probably just like online.
Abdul having
So
lost his shield
I feel like
entirely,
they could
is gonna be
probably
forced to
do
come
one a
to
year,
pause
but
here.
yeah, I
Unfortunately,
don't know.
the damage has already been done. X-Force having been claimed, but Baja, Convec, and Mixon have made
looking at
themselves
Reddit.
known. This is their exchange to win out.
This whole fight has just been deja vu. We've seen Abdul and company fighting against
Yeah,
Axel, Stella,
there's
and
no,
Bevies
like,
all day.
official
It's just
release
been the
date.
story of Axel, Stella, and Bevies this whole day.
But yeah,
Losing out
I
on
wish
these fights
the
after they
Fierce to
win on
Fathom
spawn. And then we see
franchise, a
Convec,
lot of
Blaha,
success, bro.
Mixon,
Like,
again,
they
just
are
running
incredibly
through the entire
talented.
lobby, trying to find as
Love
many
those games, bro.
stragglers as possible because they know they're already qualified through. But for Della, this is a huge, huge moment for them. I think they do need a win in order to qualify. So all hope on their qualification to the Major 2 finals does lie with Della right now. You can see him just being very, very
This live
sneaky,
event, I have no
sure
idea, bro. People are
about
saying tonight.
What Blaha, Mixon, and
There's
Convec
a
know.
lot of different like
I don't think they know
conflicting
anything really
information
about
in
his
the Fort
position.
community right now. It's kind of bad.
I don't even think they know.
Everyone's
he's
saying either tonight or
still
tomorrow
here. They
or
might just think, oh, he's
something.
run away, try to
They're
rotate
looking.
out.
Yeah.
They're really
No confirmed
trying to
time yet, I don't
It's a
think.
very, very difficult thing. And the best part is that they can do this. They've already got an elimination. They don't even if they go down
guys are
now, it doesn't really
stacked,
matter.
bro.
They're able to spend a
They're
little bit
chilling.
extra time here, and I think it's only a matter of time. They find Della because they're lurking towards this area. How is he still in this, Della? What is he doing? This could be the moment they look back on as a potential tide turner for their entire season.
I don't know how they don't hear him. Shouldn't that come up
Della
on visual
manages to
audio?
make this one out and end up getting the reboot.
I feel like this would be on visual audio, right?
This is difficult.
Every little bob. Della just trying to keep his head above water here. Mixon thought for a moment that he'd noticed, but Convec, Blaha.
No visual audio is
they're
crazy.
Both just going to circle back around onto Salty Dogs. Mixon
Only if he's moving in the
Just-
water.
continuing to
I guess so.
review, make sure that they've fully scattered out the area, but Della somehow, some way manages to survive. The damage may have already been done here, though, Minnie, because even if he makes his way out, so much time has been spent just hiding that even if he is able to
Yeah,
make
you're
a
big
reboot
griefed at that
play,
point.
his team is going to be so heavily hindered
Not ideal.
for their mid to end game.
Moments here as well for Tidy and Jewel, who have lost Sanguild. And this is a team that are inside of that top 5 consistency threshold. So this is every single moment here is so important. I always think of Tidy as like a player that's sort of upcoming, but he's been in grand finals before, all the way back in Chapter 2, Season 8. So he'll be looking to make his
Let's go,
first
Veno.
finals since then.
He sees some
Grand
cooking here,
finals,
bro.
that is, so
Gotta get the cooking going.
personified right there, but for Flixie Venovico, this is a huge
this combo's
fight for
looking
them. We saw
sweaty.
them earlier
I heard
on,
what that
picking up
skin's
3
called, but
eliminations. They need to
it's
find
like
this one if they have
something
any hope
diva with
of
candy axe. That's a
ensuring that
fire
they're inside
combo.
of that top 5. You see Veno looking from the behind, really nice shots, really nice cleanup from that fight. I think it was only a duo in the end, in Fury and Craig, but really nicely done.
It's
from
alright.
this
I'm trying to
team
see when
who
we're
really
posting
setting
the,
themselves up for
gaming
success
video
in
today.
This last game here, Taco. Sometimes teams
We still don't have the
can
thumbnail.
just back down if they need just a sort of
We need
top
this
5
thumbnail
situation, maybe
ASAP,
just a top
man.
10
I want to post this
qualify.
vid.
It may even be less for this team. They can sort of back down, sort of stay inside of their shell, if you like, and not go and play the way that they know they can play and will play. But this team are different. They know what they can do. They know their skill are above the rest of the lobby. And they're putting it on display for us.
They're just so good at corralling players into the exact line of sights that they want to take advantage of. It's going to take a lot more than that, though, for a team like Haijo, Kaido, and Turtle. Takata kind of touched on it earlier at first lobby. You would think that it was right there for them as far as the Victory Royale was concerned, but ever since they slipped quite literally off of getting chopped from the high ground in that moment, they've just seemingly struggled to establish their ground anywhere else. And with such seasoned teams like Cammy, Seti, and Hari still at play, makes good sense.
So the gray only, though, that's crazy, though.
Struggling
Oh, man.
to be as consistent as they would like. Hari, Seti, and
W
Cammy,
chop?
though, just chopping out somebody else's surge base, no big deal.
Exactly
Might
what we
as well
saw
grief him.
Queasy's team do previously, doing that exact same type of bait in that exact same position. So someone's been doing their homework. As Seti, Hari, and Cammy, they're quite happy just to let that fight go, or that surge base get chopped. They can get a couple of extra tags there onto Momsy, who was, of course, boxed up outside there. It does seem like they've repositioned themselves at Seaport City, which they have to say is their home. Unfortunately, does get not an ideal situation if they do qualify to the Major 2 finals, because Queasy is still there. And he will remain there, I'm sure. But for Wox, Ping, and Malabuka, huge game for them. The nerves must be a little bit high for this team right now.
Chat, who you guys think is winning this final game, bro?
60 points going into this last game. Historically,
Yeah,
last
he
week,
goes.
I think it was 204 was what qualified
I'm
teams
still leaning on
through,
Veno,
so
bro. I
this
think
is
it's
a
going to be Veno's
massive
team.
game for them.
Either
I mean,
Veno's team or
I
Blotch's
don't
team.
doubt they would win in an LCQ format.
I mean, it could be more of a
right,
wild card,
when it
but I
comes
feel like it's
down
going to
to
be
their
one of those two.
ability, but you just don't want to leave it
Both
up
those
to that
teams have been
chance. You
cooking.
never know what can happen on the day. You never know who's going to be contesting you, what
Do you
the
think
lobby's
Anakin's
gonna
the
look
chosen
like,
one?
what the
Of
zones
course,
are
bro.
going to do, even how you're
Anakin,
feeling
you're
as a
supposed to
team. It's
destroy the Force.
such an important game for them in terms of their
Or the
potential
dark
for
side,
this
not
season.
join them.
When a group is as stacked as this one, though, there's bound to potentially be an upset or two. Granted, that's one of the last teams that I would ever look towards in terms of not being able to confirm their spots on the battle bus for the Major 2 finals. But Momsy and Alex Skyjump trying to make themselves known. Recently evicted from Seaport City, now trying to be tenants yet again. Sila, Enix, and Pump, though, they're not trying to let it go for free by any means. Sila just gonna have to reposition here. And Alex and Skyjump, though, they've already been
What's good,
knocked.
Halo? What's up,
It's
Beavers?
only
How you doing, bro?
Momsy trying to fight back, trying to break through. Instead, totally collapsed on, though. Nowhere left
Yikes,
to
man.
run. And a huge upset for Momsy's
Do you
team.
have a trio yet?
They're
Nope.
probably hoping
No trio,
having
man.
former familiarity here
I
at
just need
the
2
top,
pros
it
to
would've
carry me,
boded
bro.
better for
Like,
them, but
it would be so
shut
good.
down by Sila and
I can
NX's
carry my
trio.
own
That
weight.
is just,
You know,
it's a tough
I'll
break.
just be there.
Really is, yeah, not
Chilling.
ideal at all. And I'm sure teams that would have been contested by Momsy
But, yeah.
and company, they'll be leaving for joy right now, but maybe that could happen still in the LCQ for them. It's not over, of course, for those that
dare
don't
you
know.
to
It is,
take
of course, there's
Nightbot's
an
mod
opportunity,
off.
3-game final.
Bro's
Last
beefing
chance
with
qualifier
Nightbot.
next week for
Ain't no way.
3 teams and 3
Nah,
only.
Nightbot's the
3
boss
victory
around
royale
here,
winners
chat. He's
to
gonna
make their
ban
way
me if I
into
take
the
his mod
Major
away.
2 finals.
He
So for
runs
anyone
the
that
stream,
hasn't
bro.
qualified, there's still
He's the
hope,
boss.
although it's best to get it done here, Taco.
You're gonna
This
watch
is the
NA
time to
later?
do it.
Yeah.
One win in this lobby.
Isn't Clicks playing NA later, guys?
Or even just the top
Who is
5 is what
in
will do it.
Group 2 NA? Just like in general. Any big names
Duel, we
besides
saw
Clicks?
these guys without Sangild earlier, and they have now picked him back up, which is nice to see. And as I spoke about earlier, this is a team that are inside of that sort of threshold, so they need a solid game here. They need that consistency to come through. No eliminations as of yet, so you have to imagine their storm surge is going to be a little bit lower, but with less teams in the lobby,
Peter Ball, I thought Peter Ball
less of
already
a
played.
concern
You guys said you did
as
earlier.
of right now in these early stages of the game, so they can afford to be a little bit more passive
Here, let me just
at
look
this
it up.
stage, but they do need to
I
get
feel
that
like you guys
damage
are just gonna
done as
keep
possible.
saying like opposite information
Like
every
some
single
issues.
time I ask. So
As far as
I might as well
ideal
just look it up
number
at this point.
concern, they're also trying to
did
get a
Fortnite
little bit
competitive
of their
tweet something
surge
about
damage
it?
online. CGB
Like the
and
lists?
Nathan, this is yet another one of our teams that I don't think many people would have expected
This is
them
I'm doing
to
the
have as
Pro-Am
many
duos.
difficulties as they have had. When it comes to that consistency metric, Nathan, gotta be real careful with some of these peaks. It's
not
just
that.
a return fire from across the way.
I can't
causing
find any info on it.
Such a huge
Gosh
threat,
darn it.
but when
Yo,
you are
Jeff with the
sitting right there on the brink of
$5. Thank you so
bubble
much,
for
Jeff. Appreciate
consistency
you, man.
placement,
W
then
Jeff.
it is very
Love videos, by the way.
easy
Did you
to
move?
kind
Your
of,
setup looks
let
different.
your
Can I play a
mind
game with
get
you or
away from
1v1?
you
I'm sorry, man. I
sort of
can't do
start
pay to play or pay to
imagine
add or
that
anything of that sort,
kind of
but I
losing
really appreciate you,
scenario.
man.
So
Thank you so much for the
a lot of
5.
mental
We did move,
force
and yes,
taken
new setup. This
for
room is
granted
temporary.
here. I think that some of these
But thanks so much for the
players
5, bro. Really
just
appreciate it, Jeff.
knowing how
Love you,
to
Jeff.
deal with those kinds of circumstances, a little bit of experience.
By
and that's
Batman Booga changed his
definitely
name.
the kind of caliber
I think he's trying to brand himself
CCV
away
fall into.
because a lot of
Yeah, I
people
think so. They've got to
confuse
place
him
their
and
strengths At
Booga.
this point, if they feel like they
You know, so I think he's trying to brand himself differently, which is honestly a good move.
To get their storm surge sort of boxed
feel like he
up
should have
in
done
two
that a while
different
back.
surge towers there for Axe Force, Bevies, and Della. This is a team that we know have struggled, and it looks as though Della has actually been able to pick up Axe Force and Bevies. So remember when he was sort of camping and sat inside of that water, managed to finally pick them both up via reboot.
Temporary sun rays for Halo.
Surge damage that they gained earlier on in terms of Axe Force and Bevy, so it's only Delos that they're going to be relying on as of right now.
Yeah, my stream room that's being built right now doesn't have as many windows. It does have windows, just not as many.
So Texas is a team that we've seen spawn at Foxy.
Low key, bro.
But no, just
not as much sunrise.
Looking okay for Della, Axe Force, and Bevies. Axe Force is down, and it's down to Bevies and Della to clutch up. Inside of this building, it's Blaha, Comeback, and Mixon, the team that everyone's trying to fight right now. As Della hits another great shot onto Comeback, it's not quite enough, albeit a huge shot. It's now Comeback on his own against Bevies. This is a huge fight for Bevies. Can he keep his team alive? Can he keep his team in contention for the Major 2 finals as another team rotates on through? The third party is here. The decision has to be made from Bevies right now, and he is just sitting back. He needs this game. This could be a season-defining moment for Bevies, and maybe this third party is just the saving grace that he needs.
Comeback, on the other hand,
sorry, my mom's texting.
Not going to be able to wiggle his way out of this one. But it's the fact that it was Comeback, Blaha, and Mixon.
But if you expose earnings in this tournament, I would have to qual.
It started essentially,
which means I would need a trio.
They had chased out Bevies trio.
That's a lot of effort for exposing earnings.
And now
I'd be better off just doing an Unreal Ranked, you know?
Making sure to be the thorn in the side here. Della doing just enough, though. The fact that Bevies is still kicking does prove to be at least a little glimmer of hope for this trio. It is just so difficult to begin to imagine, though, the way that this is essentially unfolded for them in Game 5. Bevy's hoping that he can go for the reboot yet again, but it doesn't seem as if Abdul, YZY, or Buzz are going to stick around long enough to find out what happens next.
This is a trio that has had almost the most reboots out of everyone. I'm sure there's a stat about it, but they just seem to have always been in this situation where one or two of them are down and they're having to clutch, and you know, you can only do that so many times. So Bevies right now is going to have to yet again get another reboot going.
Give me a minute.
All that damage that they had on the other players.
The last FNCS game? Yes, for Europe, and then we got NA coming up soon.
Over a mountain,
and NA is going to be clicks, right?
To climb over again.
Does anyone know who else is playing NA, or like if there's something I can find online that shows like the entire list of people playing NA tonight?
Boxed up really nicely.
Does anyone know? Was FNBR mean, bro? Fortnite Battle Royale, come on.
Of this box as well.
Come on now, bro.
A team that just needs a solid game at this point with these number of eliminations. They've set themselves up in the perfect way, and the zone is playing in their favor as well, which is nice to see.
Sitting a little bit closer to the low ground, though. Alright. Trying to get some nice shots to connect.
Dude, that Surge Tower is gigantic.
Foxy Floodgate.
That is so overkill, man.
You'd expect some teams to encounter
I guess they're just bored. I don't know.
They're
building bases out
here. Some
here.
of these mountains, especially when you have to deal with the likes of other teams rotating in, like Malibuco, Ping, and Wox. But
Fortnite Chapter, is it available on Fortnite Chapter?
Got a pretty.
It's gonna be Booga, Blake, Bucky. So Booga, Blake, Bucky, Clicks.
And Cammy.
Anyone else? Muzz.
They just want to get inside of the zone.
Dude, that's gonna be pretty stacked.
That's all they're really after.
Yeah, we're definitely watching that.
It's going to cost them a decent amount of material, but they have so many builds to work with. It's not an issue just yet.
Yeah, and they also don't need much from this game. They're just on the brink of being pretty much confirmed. 198 points going into this last game. So they really don't need much. They just need to secure it. They don't need to do anything too crazy in terms of aggression. They can just sit back and do what they do best, which is sort of consistently and making the end games. We saw Cammy there just overbuilding, making sure that they weren't going to get beamed and focused, because it's so easy to have that, especially in these lobbies where teams are just looking for any opportunity, any opening.
Higgs, Yamzo, well, those are Clicks' trios number, guys. I know.
Now
by default, they would have to be playing.
Opportunity to pick up some more damage.
Was there any other like big name trios?
Refresh as well.
Yo, Cash for the $2. Thank you, man. Halo, can you help me? If Fortnite keeps crashing, please help. Dude, I don't know, man. I'm not very good at tech stuff. Maybe try Googling like any errors that you're getting. Because sometimes Epic will show like an error on your screen when Fortnite crashes. Try updating your device, seeing if there's anything available, see if your hard drive is full, you know, that kind of stuff. But yeah, I'd recommend Googling it, bro. I don't know a whole lot. But thank you so much for the 2, Cash. Appreciate you, man.
Just about managed to get in there with a little bit of metal, but expended so many materials there.
The other issue is that they've essentially just been sandwiched inside of that edge of zone. It's going to be very difficult
Yeah, this
for
match
them
isn't as stacked
to
as
even
others,
make
but
their way out of where
the pressure's on, you know.
Same can't be said, though, for Seti, Hari, and
Everyone wants to
Cammy.
win here.
We saw them invest a little bit of core materials early on, but for good reason. Got a set position now to just kind of harass some of these other players looking to break through. For Doxy, Chino, and Pablo, they can't afford to go down just yet. They're trying to see if they can get a good refresh. They notice the body loot left over from Siren. They're going to try to be the first ones to go and collect it. But from the sidewall, Doxy never saw it coming. Lost his shield entirely. Nearly a disaster. But he will manage to skirt his way out of danger.
That's fine. They got plenty of heals. They're chilling.
Voltiax, though.
Is it placement or more qualling?
As much as he can.
Well, if you win, you instantly
just being a
qual,
little bit-
but you can qual
bit,
off of consistency.
Naive, if you like, with how all of those builds.
So just
there was not
everything's
theirs. They
important, you
didn't
know.
have
Kills
the
are important,
control
winning
of
is
all those
important,
builds, so
getting points is
you didn't
important,
place
everything's
those
important.
Builds, you didn't replace anything, and that's ultimately what can happen. But again, Jewel, Tidy, Sangul, they made their way in. They need to go in just a little bit further to solidify them inside of this next zone. They are above the Storm Surge threshold as well, but they're still looking for as many tags as possible. It's the team that do need a good performance. They're inside of that top 10 situation in terms of that leaderboard. Of course, top 5 getting you into the Major 2 finals. So such a big moment for that trio. They need just to squeeze as many placements out as possible, pick up a couple of the limbs here and there as well whenever they can. Cammy, Seti, Hari, these guys can just ride out all of their materials, ensure that they just make it as far as possible. As there are a couple of teams rotating right next to them, so many shooting in the back as well.
It's a bit awkward.
Is there a team that does have the Storm Surge, so they don't
Come
need
on,
to look
boys.
for anything in particular?
Need some cooking this match.
Path through. That was beautiful.
Absolutely lighting up CZB on that mountainside. You want to be greedy with that elevated position, but you have to remember just how many teams are actually keeping that same mentality in mind. Ping walks Malibuca, though, elevated just slightly over the rest of this lobby, but they're at the base of somebody else's surge base. Veno, Vico, Flixie, potentially overhead. For Doxy, though, he's lost Chino. A little bit of panic possibly coming into play here, but the double revive might be successful. A huge break for Pablo and for Doxy. But still, they've got to continue working their way, wrapping around the bottom of this mountain face. Prodoxy doing what he can.
They're going for
to
height.
tuck through.
Wait.
So many teams surrounding them, though. Look
Venom's
at the
team's
bottom
actually
for
going
Doxy,
for it, man.
Sure enough,
They learned height wins these games,
one
bro.
direction.
They might actually go for it.
Gets knocked in the process. Veno, Vico, and Flixie all too happy, though, to be in this elevated
It's
position.
kind of
on the
stacked.
high
Yeah, everyone
ground.
needs to win here, you know?
The luxury of spraying everybody underneath them, but Chino, Pablo, it's the end of the road here in Game 5, Mini, and everything's going to depend on how everyone else's performance is.
Yeah, I don't know if there's going to be enough. I think they ended on about sort of 140-something, 150 points. Not quite going to be enough for that trio, but for Vico, Venom, Flixie, they're just in control of this whole lobby. They had so much material spare. For Jewel, Tidy, and Sangul, a similar situation what we've seen from some of our other teams. So many teams in this lobby are just sort of on that border. They're trying to retain their position inside of that top 5 for consistency. And this is a team that can do it. They have what it takes in these moments to play these end games and play out as many of their materials as possible. Of all the other teams that need it as well, Max, Malibuca, Wox, and Ping, this is a team that also need it. They just need to stay consistent here. They have that Storm Surge damage in the threshold looking really good, 700 above that. And they still have a decent amount of materials as well to continue.
I think Malibuca's team is probably the scariest team.
Every single move that these teams make right now just has that
Versus
increased
Dino's trio.
importance. The risks that they take have that.
It's really gonna be
increased
mainly those two
riskiness to them.
teams.
But for not much longer for Veno, Vico, and Flixie, as they're just all the way up on height. They're able to control the rest of the lobby. Not too many risks for them right now.
And the problem for Wox, Malibuca, and Ping is that they ran
Thing goes
smack
down.
straight in to Seti, Cammy, and Hari
Not a
on the
great
low
situation
ground,
here.
trying to control that front-sided position. But the real issue, they needed a refresh. They might have had the
bro, this is
materials to work
stacked.
with at the start, but they need more with the way that this zone is pulling over this slight peak of elevation.
Another snowy mountain
Malibuca
endgame. This is like
now
the
finds
third
an
one we've
opportunity
gotten
here
so
onto
far
Agro. That's gonna
today.
be one knock. He's going to leave
Gotten
it
a lot
up
of
to
these.
Wox to actually confirm the body loot, get a little bit
Flixie's
more of
down.
those type of materials, hope that it can build just a couple more placements. All the while, Veno just collecting an elimination.
Tammy's team's still alive.
In the skies, but
They're cooking.
HaloBT and Vbucks, they need to be consistent here now more than ever, and working as a duo is going to make that journey difficult, but they've got what it takes.
Come on, boys. Come on, come on,
right
come on.
there, a little bit of revenge on their elimination onto Ping. So for HaloBT and Vbucks, they need to just keep playing out these materials.
Getting a kill on Delta.
As well. Vbucks there inside of the storm hits a huge shot, but it's not enough as Vbucks now goes
HaloBT's
down.
whole trio's dead, man.
Now to clutch up as many placements as they
can get
possibly
placement points here, but I don't know about a win.
They are going to
Too
need
many cracks
every one
players
of
still
these
alive.
placement points that they can get from this game. Huge moments that could send this team into the Major 2 finals. Likewise with Nathan and Eclipse. Now as a duo, this is a team that also can do it as well.
Oh man, he just barely got out of there.
Moments just outside
What was
of
the
that
run?
top 5 going into this game. This is surely going to send them in if they can continue
6
with this,
builds.
plowing on through the rest of the lobby.
But take a look at what's happening in the low ground. ADN, Michael Hardfine, we knew that they had to go absolutely
Yeah,
nuclear
Sage's team went
in
down.
this final match. They've had so
Alright,
many
Malbuka's
issues throughout
down.
the course of the day.
Nathan's
Nathan
down.
And Eclipse, though, finally gonna get shut down.
Yeah, this looks like a free win for Venno, bro, I'm gonna be honest. Unless they sell this.
Instead, Jewel,
This is a free win, they got it.
Sengill, they're now
Everyone's dead.
looking to be the commandeers of low ground, but it could come at a cost.
Low
It
ground's
could come
too
at a
brief, too.
price. No builds remain currently for Sengill. Looking behind him, it's ADN, Michael, Hardfine. They're closing in. They see the opportunity. They've got one knock. Can they get the other? Sengill's gonna fall as well, and Jewel, he's the last member standing.
Unrelenting pressure right now from ADN, Hardfine and Michael. They're dominating that low ground, but I think they get taken out as well. It's Vico
Yeah, they win
that's
this.
causing
Come on now.
absolute havoc
Come
down
on now,
there.
they win
It's
this.
Vico and Venno up on a high. Can they take this
Top
final
6.
game? As it looks like Zara, Zangi, and Rickball are the only team that is still standing as a full trio. So Venno and Vico are going to try their very best now to close out this game. Jewel is still alive
as long as they put
well,
pressure.
So it can
Venno.
be done. A solo clutch is possible.
Oh my gosh.
And Vico also now needs a solo clutch too.
Oh, they might be selling this.
Vico still has to worry.
Oh, they might be selling this
about
again, bro.
what's taking place
Oh my gosh. They keep making it to like top 3, top 5, and then one of them just goes down, and then it all goes down from there.
I
mean, Vico could clutch, but
work cut out for him, but it's too much to
I
bear.
spoke too soon.
Rickford, Zangi,
Okay.
and Zara
GG's,
find their
bro, GG's.
saving grace with a
Dang,
Game 5
man.
victory royale, and it couldn't have come at a better time.
Absolutely huge
That sucks,
for that
bro.
team. That's exactly what they needed going into that last game. They were only on 101 points, so they needed a victory royale, and I'm super excited for them. They've played pretty consistently today. They've had a really solid day overall, and I think it's nice for them to be
I think
inside of the
Venno
Major 2 finals based on that
instantly
performance.
quals, though,
A
'cause they
huge
play
way that they were able to
off
play on that
consistency,
low
right?
ground, stay together, alive as a trio.
been great
I
to
think
see them
that's
get the
most
win, though.
important thing for-
All right, chat,
for
don't
this
go
trio.
anywhere.
At the
We're gonna
end, they
keep
were the
streaming,
only
man. We
team
got
that were alive
FNCS
all
NA
3 of
happening
them,
later.
and they just took advantage of it. They didn't jump in as a solo. They didn't get too excited. They made sure to play each other or off each other really well. And I think for the Italians there, they're going to be overjoyed that this team are going to be in the Major 2 finals.
It really came down to the wire as far as Zara, Zangi, and Rickford are concerned. But
Dude,
you
NA
said
is
it
gonna be
best,
so
Vinny.
stacked
This is
tonight, man.
exactly what they were
What
after,
now?
exactly
we gotta wait for
what they
NA.
needed.
I'm gonna take a
The fact
lunch
that they
break,
were able
though,
to now
but
fixate their
I'm gonna keep the
position
stream on.
that Major 2 finals battle.
I'll give you guys the whole yap in a second. I want to see the
feeling of
leaderboard, though.
relief here, but that's gonna wrap up all 5 games from us here today, Minnie. It's been an absolute pleasure witnessing everything that took place in Group 2.
Leaderboard
But
action?
We know our 5 winners. What we don't know
Yep.
is our 5 consistency measures. So,
see
Frankie,
it.
what have you got for us?
Really, guys, great to see the Italian trio make it through. Takata was discussing whether he was able to say Mamma Mia on the broadcast. Takata, I think you're allowed. Take it away.
Yeah, this is exciting, Frankie. And you know why this is exciting? It's not only because Rick Borzangi and Zara just got that victory royale, but they got it onto Venno, and Venno was the player that chopped them down and originally took that victory royale away from them in the previous matches. So
That's
now
kinda crazy,
being able
bro.
to come back and not only get the VR, but get it on the people that stopped you from doing it earlier.
You're gonna take a 3-hour
must
lunch
feel
break?
good
No,
about it.
no, no, no.
Oh, that
Like
is
probably
one
2
of
hours.
the best feelings, right? To get that revenge.
I'm gonna start
like
early
you
before
say,
the
must be
broadcast
amazing.
happens.
And honestly, they probably are less focused about that. They're more focused on the fact that they do get to play in the finals. So really happy for them. Like the casters mentioned, great performances earlier on in the day. Well deserved.
2 hours? Yeah, I gotta do some
they
unpacking too,
provided
bro.
us with some of the
I'm not
most
just
thrilling
eating
moments from
lunch.
tonight's game,
I got
so
some stuff I
huge
gotta do
props
today,
to
guys. It's Saturday,
Rico
bro.
And the guys again. We'll see them
I gotta
in
be
the
a
finals
decent
next
amount
weekend.
productive, you know,
Let's
besides
take
just
a look
streaming.
at all 5 of our trios.
Got a bunch of
who
IRL
made
junk
it
going on.
to the finals 5 victory royales, because of course it's not just those guys we've been talking about, Zara, Zangi, and
I'll see it.
Rikuba. If we go all the way back to game 1, Robin, Cheaton, and
Yeah, so all these guys
claim the first
instantly
victory royale
qualified
of the night, Levin.
because all of them got a win.
Sleeper team,
And
but they were
then
able to
we
get
got
done. Some
5
great talent
trios
there.
that also qualified off
Next
of consistency.
game, Chap Teeny, Skavi, really excited for these guys, man. You know,
all these guys cooked,
when you
man.
look at how
Some
last
good
year
matches
played
today
out,
for
it
Europe.
was Major 2 and
Do you guys think Europe is better than NA, or do you think NA is better than Europe?
EU,
I'm not chat.
This might just happen
At
again
like the
this
top
year.
competitive levels. I'm talking like
and as
FNCS
expected,
only.
Game 3, Swizzy, Queasy, and Murstache, they were uncontested in this group. Will they be uncontested going into the major finals is the main question. Being contested last season caused them to get 4th, so hopefully this time around it will
seen a lot of
change up.
NAs.
Game 4, Glubg,
Nice some
Cracks,
EUs.
Gripey, great job closing that one out.
I think I've seen more
believe they had a
NAs though.
close game
Dang,
leading up
okay.
to that, but they still got it on the 4th match, Levin.
No, absolutely.
Yeah.
Honestly, all around, some great wins, some great winners. You know, when you look at how some of the teams
Low
won their
key,
games, very relentless in their attempt
I
and their
think
pursuit of it, and eventually
the
got
average.
it. So well deserved.
Here, wait. Let me
Any shiny
turn this down for a second.
stars that you want
I think
to
the
say
average
about
pro
2019,
in Europe is better than the average pro on NA. But there's a lot of top NA players that I would say are better than a lot of the top EU players. Does that make sense?
The shining light in terms of consistency.
So I'd say NA just by a smidge is better for FNCS. But like solo cashies, I don't know. They're pretty even. And then ranked, I'd say ranked is way sweatier on Europe than it is for NA. Way sweatier. The average EU ranked game, just random Unreal Ranked kid. So I think it depends on like what's going on. But yeah, it's kind of weird because Europe had it for the longest time where Europe was like undisputed the best region. And then I feel like in the last year or so they've been kind of tied up, you know.
Wanted this so much, and at one point though, it looked like they might not make it.
Yeah, they were able to close it out, but
so these are the consistency
like,
teams.
due to
Sorry, wrong button, my bad. I misclicked my stream deck.
And not being in the top 5.
Yeah, so these are the players that qualify for consistency. So Veno qualled,
Seti
qualled, W Seti, W Veno, Blatcha qualled,
but shout out to Sangyo,
Tidy Not Nice qualled, and then Ping qualled.
who were able to
So
push
all those guys
themselves
got
into
an
that
instant
top
qual
5
because they were
going
just
into that
consistent in the
last match.
tournament. So those 5
Look,
trios plus the 5 trios that
We
won a
said
match.
today, or you said today, there was going to be an upset. And I flamed you for not picking who it was going to be. And now I'm going to flame you again because you were wrong. And we, you know, all the big names, everyone was, oh, one of them's going to make it surely. Or one of them's not going to make it surely. They all managed to sneak their way in. Look, they made it close towards the end. The fact that Halobombtrooper's trio was sort of the last team to qual on consistency is surprising somewhat, right? You wouldn't have probably put them down for that position. But at the end of the day, they make it in. They have a spot in the major finals. And that's what matters most, for them to continue to show what they can do on the biggest stages.
So one of the things that's so exciting about this format, though, is you are really rewarded for both the consistency and just going all out, obviously. With being able to
it's a good
qualify
meta
through
for
victory
FNCS.
royale,
I like what they've been
is
doing recently.
really, really tempting for a lot of these trios to Carter. I have to say, I'm disappointed that Nathan, CZB, and Eclipse didn't quite make it through. I wonder if we are able to take a look at page 2 and just see how close some of these trios were. Turtle, Kaito, and Haijo.
Are you doing an NA stream?
Trio
Yeah.
to watch at the start.
I'm gonna
They
yap and tell you guys the plan in a
unfortunately
second. I'm just gonna wait for them to do a little bit more yapping
I should
first.
say to go.
Yeah, I mean,
So all these guys are gonna have to qual
quite a
off
big
of,
difference between 10th and 11th. The main thing that
Gosh,
kind
the
of
last
didn't
chance
go CZB,
qualifier.
Eclipse, and Nathan's way was what I mentioned earlier, is that the trio that won that last match wasn't in that top 5, top 10, depending how you look at it. So they needed that to kind of bump themselves in that final spot. But I mean, overall, the players that did qualify through consistency obviously deserved it.
I'm really excited to see how these teams bounce back come last chance qualifier, because it's not done.
Yeah,
Their
yeah.
seasons are
They
not
still
done.
got a chance, you know?
But I am looking at Fredoxy, Pablo, Chino. Look, I like to stir the pot a bit. I love these guys, great guys. I've met Fredoxy, amazing guy. Chino, I've met him as well, super nice. But Fredoxy, this could be another season in a row of not making it to the major finals. Obviously, he was playing with Thomas, you know, last season with Trippin as well, and they didn't make it. You look at Chino as well. Chino was playing in the major finals with Pink and Nebs. He decided at the end of the season, I don't want to play with you guys no more. I want to go play with my Danish friends. And so far, playing with the Danish friends ain't working out too good. So last chance qualifier.
Dang,
All eyes will be on you,
okay.
my friends. Can you come back? Can you make it happen? Can you prove the doubters wrong?
Are you firing shots at the Danes, Levin?
I'm not fine. Look, we got a lot of Danish people in production, so they might cut my camera feed any second now.
Yeah,
I'm not
yeah.
firing shots at the Danes.
Gotta be careful
I'm
what you
just
say,
saying,
Levin.
There's a lot of pressure
Exotic
on
with the
these
$1.
guys to
Thank you so much,
deliver.
Exotic.
Come
W
last
Exotic.
chance qualifier,
Thank
which
you.
is even more reason to watch it.
Yeah, I'm very excited for the last chance qualifier. It's so delivered back in Major 1, and it's definitely going to deliver again this time. Takata, you looking forward to Group 3's action tomorrow?
Oh yeah, a lot of big names. Mr. Savage, I know there's a lot of fan favorites competing, so I'm excited to see how Group 3 tomorrow plays out. Obviously, last chance as well for the trios that weren't able to. Only 3 trios will qualify through last chance, so it's incredibly difficult to get the job done, but I'm excited. I'm ready for it, Frankie.
Can we get 11-2K guarantee? Any predictions for tomorrow?
How do I get the fans on side here? Reason for doing Mr. Savage. Win game 1. 1 and done. Bang. That's it.
Bruh.
It was a bold prediction, but I don't think that was 11-2K guarantee. Thank you so much for tonight, guys. Thank you very much to Mini, Miner, and Taco. I can't wait, 11
Oh
to
my gosh, Cass isn't trolling too much, man.
I'm sorry, I love you, babes. And I love you guys at home for watching.
All right, that was a W broadcast, man. W broadcast, W broadcast.
All
right, so chat, here's what we're going to do. So I'm going to eat some lunch. I'm gonna take a lunch break and do some other stuff. I got a bunch of IRL junk I gotta deal with. We're still trying to move in, so I got some stuff I gotta set up and unpack and yada yada. But if you guys are bored, make sure you guys are playing some Infinite Box Fights. I'm gonna keep streaming, and I'm gonna have some YouTube videos playing for you guys. Okay. So I'll have some YouTube videos. This is gonna be only on Twitch, by the way. I am gonna end the YouTube stream. But yeah, here's what we're gonna do. Here's the plan. Everyone listen up. So Twitch, we're gonna keep the stream going. I'm gonna be doing NA in a couple hours at 4 p.m. It's 1:30 pretty much right now. I'm gonna come back a little bit before 4 p.m., probably like 3:30. So, oh wait, you didn't see. Yeah, it's 1:30. There we go. So I'm going to keep the stream on for Twitch. You guys are going to get a longer stream. I'm going to play some YouTube videos. A bunch of my content will just be on. I'm going to end the YouTube stream, and then we're going to start back up the YouTube stream at around 3:30 or 4 p.m. when NA happens tonight, and then we're going to watch NA. But yeah, if you guys are on the YouTube stream, come on over to Twitch. Twitch chat, tell them to come on over, bro. Tell them to come on over. But yeah, I'm going to stream on Twitch. We're going to have about probably 2-hour break where I'm going to eat lunch and do some unpacking and do some setting up for stuff. I'm going to have some YouTube videos going. I'm going to end the YouTube stream, and then we're going to start back up the YouTube stream for FNCS tonight. Okay, so don't worry. We're gonna start back up the YouTube stream. So if you really wanted to watch on YouTube, or if you don't have Twitch, you know, we will be still live on YouTube tonight for NA, so you won't miss a whole lot. But yeah, love you guys on the YouTube stream, bro. I'm gonna end YouTube stream. Join up onto Twitch.